You know what? If you'd have told 15-year-old Chris, or Jabroni, depending on what you want to call him, that 30 years from the time he bought a little cassette called Visual Lies, that he'd have his own podcast and he would be interviewing the gentleman behind the band, behind the record, one of his favorite singers of all time, 15-year-old Chris would have probably told you you were on crack, insane, needed to be committed. But man, it's Lizzy Borden Day. I've been waiting for this for 30 years. Tonight at 7:30, we are talking to the Master of Disguise. But for the first 45 minutes or so, we're going to talk music and more. More music, more everything. Then we're going to pay the bills. Tonight, it's Lizzy Borden Day, bitches!
And we're here.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to the Loki and Jabroni Show. Due to circumstances beyond our control, Loki cannot be with us tonight. But we hired Kevin Harvick to stand in. And literally, that's all he's going to do is stand in. But we got some new technology. We're testing it out. We needed a body here. I called on a couple people. They couldn't make it. So, Kevin, you're it. Good luck this weekend in Sonoma. Dude, how are you today?
I'm good.
You did something I never thought you would do. And you told me about it, and I'm sure at 7:30.
Showered?
That's once a month. I know when that is.
Well, this would be twice because I knew we were going to have a special guest.
Yes, good job by you. You actually went out of your way to listen to Lizzy Borden, and you're not a rock and roll guy.
I'm not at all.
I'm very impressed today.
Yeah, I did my homework.
What'd you think? Just little side. Don't have to.
Two things I really like right off the rip.
Okay.
Granted, keep in mind, I probably only got to listen to a small handful of songs from the drive here.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Me Against the World.
That's my favorite.
And I love that cover tune, Born to Be Wild.
Yep, that was from...
So I was really impressed by those two songs the most.
Oh, yeah. Me Against the World, well, I'll always wear that as a badge. I don't want to waste too much before Lizzy gets on. Guys, it's fucking Lizzy Borden Day. Look at this shit. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
He's like a little girl right now.
What's the over-under on my fanboy moment? Seriously.
The over-under?
Yeah, like how long into this? We have approximately a half hour, maybe a little more with Lizzy at 7:30. How many minutes is it going to take before I have my first absolute...
Your first squee?
Girly fangirl moment, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the drinking game, folks. How many times is Chris going to squee?
Maybe, I don't know, 3-4 times. But Me Against the World is my favorite.
You know what's funny? This is what I liked about that song. Obviously, I could only get the lyrics really quick, but obviously, Me Against the World is a favorite song by Tupac that I like.
Yes.
And so naturally, it kind of appealed. The title appealed to me, like, oh, what do we got here? I kind of like the harmonizing in that song a lot.
I'll buy it.
It's really good.
And he's got a very clean voice. It's just something that, and he's carried over.
The whole band was really, really tight on that song.
Yeah.
Like, really good.
Well, for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure we don't need to tell Lizzy this because he's lived it, Lizzy and his brother Joey are the only two original members of the band that are left. There's been lineup changes. There's been this, there's been that. But the consistent has always been powerful drums of Joey Scott and those vocals of Lizzy Borden. I don't know exactly what kind of partying or after-hours gimmickry he's done over the years, but much like Mark Slaughter, who can still belt those notes out today, Lizzy Borden, same way. Whereas you go see a band like Kiss with Paul Stanley, and he's killing himself trying to sing the old tunes.
Well, Kiss has been doing it longer, haven't they?
Yes. And in fact, I think Lizzy was inspired by Kiss in some way, shape, or form. Kiss, Alice Cooper, Arthur Brown, that whole...
you can tell.
Without question.
Yeah. You know what, though? This was just an observation of mine. You probably agree. I don't hear strain in his voice as the songs go further, but the sound definitely matures.
Oh, yeah.
So it almost sounds like he's perfected the vocal.
Yeah.
Rather than worn out the vocal. You know how some of these singers tend to do. They wear out their chops.
Oh, yeah.
You know, another perfect example, like Mariah Carey. The voice just matures as she gets older.
Yeah.
And then you got someone like Axl Rose, whose voice is like sounds and smells like burnt wiring.
What do you think about that, Kevin? That's what I thought.
I think Kevin's gonna get jealous before the night's over because you're gonna be squeeing over Lizzie
Probably.
and not him.
He's used to me squeeing about him on Sundays.
I know. Like the appreciation tour is like
Oh, it'll
on
roll.
hold.
No,
It's
it's
on
not on
hold.
hold. It rolls on.
It's on hold for Lizzy Borden.
Guys, tune in to C&J Speedway Review tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about the Iowa race on the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. The Cup guys were off for Father's Day, but the week prior to that, Harvick came in a strong second. The weather foiled his plot to beat his teammate Clint Boyer to the line. Congratulations to Clint Boyer. Now let's pay a couple bills. Please do not forget that our 2018 fundraiser is all about Chad Hatfield and Team World Vision. Chad and Team World Vision are trying to bring clean water to countries that do not have access to clean water. You can donate to them by going to Chad Hatfield on Facebook and asking him where to donate. We will put it up because we had our contest recently, and I have to put Chad back on the top of the page. As an added bonus, in November, Chad will be running the New York City Marathon as a part of Team World Vision. So we tip our hat to him. We are going to pimp this every day until he gets to New York. Would you like a sexy shirt like producer Eddie Focus is wearing right now? Go to cafepress.com/Loki and Jabroni. T-shirts, hoodies, front zips, baby onesies, coffee mugs, bumper stickers. Get it all at cafepress.com/Loki and Jabroni. Want to do some great shopping from Amazon, WWE, Zounds, wherever your heart desires? Go to lokiandjabroni.com, our website, and click the affiliate link and find where you can do some great shopping. And if you want to donate to the show, it's www.patreon.com/Loki and Jabroni. Every little bit helps. And we have 2 special events coming up. We've talked about them often. We're going to keep talking about these events. Saturday, June 30th, 7 p.m. in Groton, Connecticut, we have Constitution State Wrestling. Our good friend Nat Peterson puts on another great show with a main event of former WWE superstar Gangrel taking on Trigger the OG. The undercard features JT Dunn versus Lucha Underground's Son of Havoc, Matt Cross. That's going to be the sleeper match of the night. Plus, recent WWE departure, James Ellsworth is going to be in action. Tickets are $17 ringside, $12 general admission. We're going to be there live streaming. Then, August 19th, 2018, once again, we are going back to the deck, 359 Boston Post Road in Westbrook, Connecticut, for the SummerSlam party of all time. We did it last year. We had a great time. The deck loved us. We loved them. Tim, Louie, and the whole crew treated us like kings.
If you don't love the deck, you are not on our level.
There's something wrong with you.
You're not on our level. You need to listen to this show repeatedly.
Yep.
Look in the mirror. You need to question every life decision.
Correct.
And stop eating the fucking Tide Pods and go to the deck.
Right. So, I'm not sure what we're going to do. We're obviously going to have the trivia contest. We are going to crown a revolving Loki and Jabroni trivia champion. Not sure if we're going to have the belt in time, but if you're the champion, you get the belt, you come back, you defend it. You want to defend it against me? Feel free. Mike will come up with the questions, whatever you want. When you're not here, Kev, I'm not trying to exclude you from anything.
And there won't be any hand-picked challengers. You're going to have to defend that belt.
That's right.
It's
going to be written down.
It's not going to be like fucking, what's his name that you hate there?
Brock Lesnar?
The other one.
Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Oh, it's music today. Let's just, we had to get these out of the way because that's the bills to pay. But man, wow. Do you want to say something? Do you want to start? Do you have any questions for me? I mean, we got about 40 minutes of usable time before we take a quick 5-minute break and get Lizzy on the line. Talk to me, man. God, it's Lizzy Borden Day.
Well, I just
I did that on purpose.
Drink.
For all you audio-only folks, you're missing out on a great live stream.
Well, you know what? Not totally Lizzy Borden related. Just a good month for music.
Okay.
Overall, there's been some really great releases came out, whether you agree, disagree, whatever. It's ironic. So Kanye's album comes out.
Yeah.
It's kind of mediocre.
You mentioned
that. He produces 2 new albums for 2 other artists. They're fantastic. One of them I still don't care for because I just don't like Kid Cudi.
I've heard of him. Wow, how about that?
Nas drops a new album this week.
Okay.
Gold.
Really?
Gold. I was listening to it today. Lyrics are coming back. The beats are almost, I don't want to say old school because they're very clean, but it's got that sound that everybody used to love back in the 90s, whatever.
Right.
You know, Also, Black Thought from the Roots put out an EP. Gold, fucking
Wow.
gold. It's been a good month for music, and now Lizzy Borden coming out 11 years later, putting out an album.
Absolutely.
You tell me when was your first time hearing the music?
Oh, I'm gonna have to tell the story twice
Because I
tonight.
can't say that was my first time hearing Lizzy because I recognized some songs
Okay.
as I was listening. I'm like, oh, I've heard this.
Okay. I
Didn't put
was
two and two
I
together.
was 15. It was a Saturday night. I got off of work. Yes, I had a job when I was 15. So all you little snowflakery people, go out and get jobs under the table, of course. And it was
Just work.
Headbangers Ball night. So got my dinner, ate it, whatever. 12 o'clock comes. I flip on the MTV, and it's the most unmetal human being on earth is Adam Curry. And there he is. There he's standing like, hey, Headbangers Ball. We got this. We got the world premiere of Anthrax coming up. But first, it's Lizzy Borden. Who the fuck is Lizzy Borden? They play the video. The image was wild. And it was like, for a second, it was off putting. But the song was Me Against the World. Fell in love immediately. That Tuesday, we all go family style grocery shopping. Now, where my mother used to love to go grocery shopping, in the next plaza over, music store. So I'm gone. Like, well, great, see you in an hour. I'm going to go look at bases and pick out some cassettes to buy. Ran through the door, and I remember his name was Joe. Don't remember his last name to save my life, but he was 2 years ahead of me in high school. He worked at the record store. Burst through the
Was
door. I
this
went,
didn't happen to be university music?
no, this is
No.
it was Roberts Records, then it became Music Express later on in Groton near
Oh
Benny's.
yeah, I know that one.
Burst through the door and I said, "You got Lizzy Borden?" He's like, "Yeah." Okay. I went to hunt it down. I
Do you
bought
even metal, bro?
right. I was still bubbling in the. I was still Kiss, AC/DC, Motley Crue. I wasn't venturing outward. I was very happy, very safe. But between Metallica and Lizzy Borden, that branched me off, and I played that Visualize record over, the cassette, sorry, over and over and over
They still call them
that
records.
whole summer until one day in my Walkman it snapped, ran right out and bought another one. That CD, that record, that cassette, whatever you want to say, was instrumental to me, and to this day that I can still, put on Me Against the World, and it sounds just as awesome as it did in 1988 for me. So, and it's 30 years, and the song holds up. That whole record holds up. I have Visualize on my iTunes right now.
Well, folks,
Love
chime
it.
in. Is there an album that you bought and played over and over again until the album self-destructed?
Right.
Chime in.
I can tell you a funny story. I think it was Matt Pistol was watching us. Whether or not he's still here, I don't know. He bought a copy of Injustice for All by Metallica that I guess the factory spooled it upside down. So he puts it in and everything's playing backwards. Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, we bought it from Caldor and Groton. So we went back, traded it out. He got to
I
hear it.
forgot there was one in Groton.
Yep, right where Pfizer is now.
Yeah. That's probably a collector's item
Too
if you
much
still
for you,
had it.
Middle America folk. He wanted to return it. He wanted to hear it. I don't think we thought of it at 15 years old or 13 or however old we were
Yeah.
when he bought that.
And the store probably returned it to the distributor and
Yep, and it got destroyed.
yes, folks, when you get misprints like that, I don't care what it is, albums, posters, whatever, keep them. They're probably going to be worth something, especially
Absolutely.
if the album charts. We talked about the original name of Return of the Jedi was Revenge of the Jedi, and there were posters out there. If you have those posters, they're worth a lot of money. So you should always keep your imperfections. They're worth something to somebody.
Right. And there was another time where I bought a cassette. This is in the 90s from University Music, oddly enough. It was Rob Halford's side band called Fight. Loved it. I thought that whole record was great. But now it doesn't feel the same anymore. It doesn't carry well. It just sounds like angry early 90s. I'm a metal guy, but I want to bring grunge into the mix, and it's dated. But
I think the whole grunge sound is dated.
when I bought it, instead of the lyric sheet inside, Justice was my first album, Matt just chimed in with. So there you go. And do you remember it being spooled upside down? That's the question. Chime in after that. So when I bought the Fight album, instead of having the lyric sheet for Fight inside, it had pictures from another album from some chick named Robin Beck. Yeah. lyrics to all these songs and Robin Beck and produced by Jimmy whatever and
Same record label and
same
everything.
record label.
Yeah.
Everything was Columbia, and I was just like, what the fuck? All right, I still got the music. I'm not listening to Robin Beck. I'm listening to Halford and Fight, and it's all well and good. But yeah, I wish I'd have saved that misprint.
Yeah, I had there were a couple albums. I probably I think that probably the last tape I played to death before it broke
Mm-hmm.
had to be Chronic 2001.
Mm.
I just played that on repeat. It was such like a good album at the
Were
time.
you a guy like me that you held off as long as you could before making the switch from cassette to compact disc? And even
No,
now with CD to streaming.
no.
Okay.
The only reason I was still buying cassettes at that I was buying CDs,
Yeah.
but one of the only reasons I was buying cassettes at that point is my car had a cassette player, and I didn't want to buy a new stereo because stereos weren't cheap back then to
No, no,
replace
they
them. Like
weren't.
you can get a CD player with Bluetooth and USB stick now for like $99 if you just
Right.
buy a cheap one. That didn't exist back then. They were all 200 and higher,
Oh yeah.
and the 200 was like another tape
And the
deck.
more German the name was, the more prestige it had.
Right.
If I had to hear Blaupunkt one more time, I
Yeah.
was going to choke
Oh,
somebody.
my car's got a bob hug. Yeah, whatever.
Big deal.
You know what?
My car's got a 353.
I've always gotten Pioneer. So
Okay.
Pioneer's always been my brand.
Trusted.
I got a Pioneer. I love it now. I have
Mhm.
a Pioneer deck with nothing. There's no CD players, no tape deck. It's all media.
Gotcha.
Hook up the phone, Bluetooth, listen to everything. Listen to Lizzy Borden on the way up here. So I love it.
Did I mention? Can anybody see this shirt? It's Lizzy Borden Day. Can you see this? I don't often wear the same shirt twice in 2 weeks, but I'm not excited. I washed it though.
Now during this this might be a question for Lizzy, but during this whole time, have they still been doing shows?
Oh yeah, they're constantly on tour. If you follow Lizzy on Facebook or on Twitter, there are pictures. We're in the Czech Republic. We're here. We're there. European festivals. I mean, Lizzy Borden just has just this huge following. We have a music question coming in. Matt wants to know who is the rapper that was killed this morning. I can't say his name. XXX Tentacle
Oh,
Dickhead.
I know he's talking about. I don't know too much about it. Hang on.
Can you Google machine it? Because I found out after the fact, I see all these people talking about he was killed. He was trying to buy a motorcycle. Somebody drove by, shot him. Drive-by shootings suck. I don't care who you are. And at that time, I didn't care what this guy's background was. But when I found out more about him, it makes me question the people. Look, loss of life is tragic no matter how it happens. But this guy was a scumbag. He didn't die in a scumbag way. It's not like, whatever.
Extentation.
Extentation. Sure.
Yeah.
Triple X.
20 years old. So yeah.
That's tragic.
It sucks. It really does.
You'll never know. Much like Tupac, much like Biggie, you're never going to find out where these guys could have gone had they not. Look, they all embrace the lifestyle. They all think they can carry a gun and swing it around and MF this and N-word this and whatever. But you know what? Metal had the same problem with drugs and alcohol and dying early. No genre of music is immune to this.
No.
So for this kid to get shot, all he's doing is shopping for a motorcycle. What annoyed me
Yeah,
was...
I think it was a robbery.
Yeah. What annoyed me about this is that all these people are singing his praises. Like, oh, whatever, I've read them all. And some friends of mine and some friends' children of mine who are now 21, 22 years old. Oh, it's so tragic. This guy was a scumbag in life. Yes, he was talented, but,
Yeah, he had charges of abuse. Spotify kicked him off their platform.
Really?
Well, not him, but his playlist. They did the same thing to R. Kelly.
Okay.
Where any playlists with R. Kelly were booted. The music was still there, but you have to search for them. They won't chart.
Gotcha.
So even if you got like 1 million downloads in a day, they wouldn't chart him.
It wouldn't matter.
Right. The algorithm was programmed to keep him down, but they let you stay on the platform. So
it sucks when the man holds you down.
Yeah, I know. Some people were crying censorship, and I'm like, well, that's not censorship.
No.
That's freedom of association.
We're not going to promote this asset.
Right. Yeah, it's freedom of association. So R. Kelly's peeing on underage hookers. Do you really want your brand associated with that?
Exactly.
It's a self-defense mechanism.
Didn't the label drop him for a while too? You might have to Google machine.
I'm looking. I don't think his label dropped him, but I think mostly just the streaming services like
Ange is watching. Hello, Ange.
No, he had a 6-figure. He had a 6 million record deal with Capitol Music.
And they didn't bounce him after that.
No,
Interesting.
I don't think so.
Okay.
They probably paid for his lawyers.
Well, you got to do something. Isn't there an umbrella clause in a lot of these contracts where if you get in some trouble, the label kind of comes up and gives you lawyers, but you then have to reimburse? I've always heard
Oh,
that.
looks like Spotify reversed that decision too. So I should have
Oh,
read a little
okay.
further. I wasn't a fan, so I don't really know a lot about him.
Gotcha.
But like I said, it's terrible when these guys get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them come up from the worst circumstances, and some of them can't get out of it.
Right.
Even look at DMX. DMX is a sad case.
Yeah.
He's constantly getting busted for some reason in Spartanburg. Stay the fuck out of Spartanburg, bro.
Spartanburg, Georgia or Virginia?
North Carolina or South Carolina.
There's like 7 Spartanburgs down there.
Yeah, Spartanburg, South Carolina. But he's always getting busted for like drugs and driving drunk. And
Ain't that about a bitch?
He can't have a license. Like he's federally banned from having a license. I think. Yeah.
Well,
because he's been busted in so many states, nobody will give him a license.
If anybody gets a ride or is offered a ride from DMX, just say no. Please, just say no. Dumb question for you. We all have music that we grew up on and we loved with a D, loved, and kind of now you look back on it and say, why the hell did I buy a Warrant record? Is there anything from your past, your musical past, that you're embarrassed to say? At one point I wore an NKOTB T-shirt. Not me. I'm wearing a Lizzy Borden tee. It's Lizzy Borden Day. You're doing this? What is your embarrassing musical moment from your childhood, teens, even into your early 20s?
One of my first albums was To the Extreme.
We have a winner.
But I don't know. Looking back on it too, it's like, yeah, poor guy didn't get fair deal really. But
I can't.
And you know what? It's funny. I read an article one time that somebody was talking about, Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, To the Extreme is Vanilla Ice's debut album.
And he rocks a mic like a vandal.
And light the stage and wax chump like a candle.
Thank you.
Dance.
I love you for that.
But it compared Vanilla Ice to Lil Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Vanilla Ice gets a lot of shit, but let's compare Vanilla Ice's lyrics to Lil Wayne's lyrics.
Mm-hmm. You guys chime in on this question too. I'd love to hear your embarrassing musical gimmick from your childhood. I already got one.
Matthew Pistol says Europe, the final countdown. Get the fuck out of here, Matthew.
With the exception of the final countdown in Cherokee, that's an album of filler.
Come on, man. They're the only ones that let us have their music, apparently.
That's true. They haven't sued us
yet. They haven't. Nobody stopped us. But no, you compare the lyrics. Like, compare Ice Ice Baby to one of Lil Wayne's top hits. I can't think of any because I don't really like him that much.
Right.
And you would think that Vanilla Ice is a genius just reading the lyrics, not listening to the music or any of the seeing him on TV. Just reading the lyrics, you would think Vanilla Ice is 50 times beyond Lil Wayne.
So what you're saying to me is that if I had never heard of Vanilla Ice,
if you knew nothing about either one of them,
the lyric sheet, I might think he's a genius until I see his goofy ass on television.
If you didn't know anything about either man,
okay,
let's say that you put it out of your mind and you just on pure lyrics and you read them, you're just like, here's Vanilla Ice on the left, here's Lil Wayne on the right. You'd be like, oh, this Vanilla Ice guy's talented. This Lil Wayne guy can't stop saying the N-word.
Right. And if Vanilla had said the N-word, there would have been, well, no, there wouldn't really been an uproar back then, would there?
Yeah, there would.
Think so? Eric Mitchell's watching. Eric, do you have an embarrassing musical moment? What did you listen to as a kid that you're embarrassed to tell people now? Man, I guess this is my time, although it grew into something better, was, those Vinnie Vincent Invasion albums.
There'll be no talk about Vinnie Vincent.
I know. That's why I'm throwing it in quick. Those, it was just that the whole Kiss connection, and it's Vinnie Vincent, and when they got Mark Slaughter, they got better, and then the band was over, and Slaughter went on to do, Slaughter, episode 15. Go back, look it up in the archives. Great conversation with Mark Slaughter. But I look back, I downloaded a couple songs from the first Vinnie Vincent album recently, because I have the unlimited downloads for $10 a month. I listened to them once, and I was like, yep, I'm done with this. Slide and delete, slide and delete. I can't do it. it doesn't hold up. Whereas I can go back and put on, the aforementioned Lizzy Borden. I could put on Me Against the World. It holds water. I can put on any of the 4 Metallica albums they did in the 80s. They hold water. There's not a lot of great Bullet Boys to this day. Holds water. I'm not embarrassed by that. The Bullet Boys were fantastic. Van Halen, same thing. They hold water. But Vinnie Vincent, it's timed. It's stamped.
I'll accept Pound Cake.
Nice. Anybody who loves the Europe Final Countdown album should just be separated from their parents. I'm kidding, Matt. That's a joke.
It's funny.
Chuckle,
Albums
y'all.
that don't hold up at all, and I thought they were amusing, but actually, Loki thought it was amusing too. MC Hammer's The Funky Headhunter, Pumps and a Bump, and all that shit.
Right.
It was amusing, but you listen to it now, you're almost embarrassed. Like
you almost have to be.
Especially like later as you go on. It's probably the same thing with heavy metal. You listen to the Metallicas, you listen to Warrant and all that, and then you suddenly discover there's better music out there. And you listen to that and you wonder why the hell you even liked these guys in the first place. So it's almost like these, like the Vanilla Ices and Warrants of the world are training wheels for music. And you take the training wheels off and it's like, okay, I need something like with problem with rap music right now is I think it's devolved a little bit with that mumble shit.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
And so back then it was like you had the pop rappers. Everybody hated the pop rappers. Well, now they're all pop.
Right.
They're all mainstream.
But that's how you get there.
You listen to some of these mumble guys, and then like Nas just dropped an album. I'm listening to Nas, and it's just like, why would anybody listen to that?
Well, that kind of goes to on the metal side. If you can sing, you've got my attention. I think James Hetfield is a good singer.
Yes.
He's a little growly. I think Phil Anselmo from Pantera, great singer. Zach Wilde, Black Label Society, great singer. Lizzy Borden, we're going to talk to him in a little while. But I can't get into that whole, the death metal, that
the hardcore.
You can't.
Yeah.
If I can't understand you, I'm not going to listen to you. Eric says he was a 90s kid. Britney Spears, Spice Girls, boy bands. Sorry.
You know what? I don't regret grabbing any Spice Girls music. I love the Spice Girls. I don't give a shit.
What was the song they did in the movie that was never on any record?
Spice World?
That wanna be in my gang, gimmick.
Maybe there was a couple songs on that soundtrack that weren't on the albums, but I never had a problem with
that was a hilarious
Spice
movie.
Girls, and Mel C created one of the biggest dance hits ever with "I Turn to You." It was like huge in the clubs.
Yeah. Matt's asking a question. How about current embarrassing music? I think we're a little more selective now. You'd have to ask us that in 5 years.
Well,
I really think
actually that's a good thing to talk about because with the streaming stuff, you can avoid the embarrassment of shelling out money for bad music. So I listened to Kanye's new album. I like Kanye. It was a terrible album. So it wasn't that great.
You don't necessarily have to invest yourself into...
Right. I'm not going to because I did that once before. I showed loyalty when I bought Yeezus, and I'm like, this is crap. But anything before that, I think, is worth buying.
Okay.
So now you could actually... This is why I like the streaming services because I think good music, people are going to buy it. If it's good, they're going to buy it. So
and you also have to have the promotion and things like you did with your video that we made for Lizzy tonight. You put up the website. Go buy My Midnight Things. It's in the description of the show tonight. Go buy this record. If you stream it, if you are a collector and you want vinyl, yes, there's a limited press of vinyl, CD, all sorts of goodies that are involved. LizzyBorden.com. Go check it out. Currently, the only time I was really ever embarrassed over a CD I bought, I have to go back to like early 2000s. I had heard Nickelback, and I wasn't too keen on the How You Remind Me, but then I heard, was it Never Again, Never Enough, Never whatever. Thought it was good. So maybe the rest of the record's like this. I bought it. No, the rest of the record was like
it's pap.
How You Remind Me. It is. It's
fucking pap.
It is.
See,
pap.
I don't even like that song. I don't. There's nothing about Nickelback I like.
One song, and that's the one where Vinnie Paul donated the Dimebag riff, and they tributed Dimebag.
I just feel like if you take Chad out of the band and put in Justin Timberlake, the shit would work better.
Possibly. Matt says he has satellite radio programmed to alert him on all Adele songs, so he can change it every time. I don't get the Adele hate. I mean, obviously we all have our taste. I
get it. It's not fair to her.
Because I don't listen to terrestrial radio much anymore. Are they really shoving her down everybody's throat?
They were.
Okay.
But I can think of a couple songs that did that too. Mr. Big, Just to Be With You,
Yeah.
shoved. Good song. I'm sorry, it's a good song.
Good band.
Shoved down our
They
throat.
were fantastic.
But
It
that
was a
particular
super group,
song,
really. Yeah.
Extreme,
More than words.
shoved down our throat. Not a bad song. Shoved down our throat.
But that's another one that carries to this day. And they were all talented musicians,
Right.
but
But
they
that
were.
song also sold them wrong because people bought the album and they're like, this is harder
Oh
than I
yeah.
expected.
But then you got Kid Ego and Get the Funk Out and all this other stuff, and you wanted more than words.
You wanted more of that.
Yeah.
And that they weren't. That
Kinda
wasn't the focus of. That's why you never lead with that.
Right. And you know what? There goes another embarrassing moment for me. One good song on the record, I bought it. I still listen to it to this day, but the rest of the record was just a guy playing 4 million notes. Anything by Yngwie Malmsteen in the 80s. If you're not familiar, go look him up after the show. Watch the show. Have some fun. Listen to the show. If you're listening audio only on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever, pause the show. Download an Yngwie song. It's 99 cents. And then tell me, don't download Heaven Tonight. That's the only one. The only one. And Judas, I'm sorry, 2 songs. The rest of them, just, it's a finger fest. It's watch how fast I can play.
If you go to lokiandjabroni.com and click our Amazon links, sign up for a Music Unlimited subscription. It's only like $9.99 a month.
Not
you
bad.
can listen to all that stuff we're talking about.
Matt says American Woman by Lenny Kravitz was shoved down the throat.
It was. Another good song, though, shoved down our throats.
Oh, yeah. And it was completely ruined because of that. But
I
don't know. Had they pushed, Are You Gonna Go My Way? Might not have been so angry because that was a 10-time better song.
They did the same thing with that Madonna song, American Pie. I think that was kind of overplayed, and it wasn't
Madonna
very good
is
though.
Overplayed. Come on.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, they don't play her as much anymore because she hasn't really done anything spectacular.
No, but we're 2018. What was when does anybody know when was the last time Madonna put out new original music?
She puts out music all the time. It just doesn't chart.
There's a reason for that.
Sound has changed.
I think the business is past her. You could be like Prince, have your core audience. They're going to buy the record. You're going to go like minimally 200,000-300,000 copies sold.
Prince would never allow himself to be oversaturated either. He was very controlling. You know, he wanted it because he liked the experience, selling the experience. Mm-hmm. So like for the longest time, you couldn't get him on the streaming services. He would remove anything on YouTube. He would. People said he sat at a computer and looked for shit on YouTube just to remove it.
I believe that.
You know, but now that he's passed, though, they're kind of releasing everything because, you know, it doesn't matter to the estate at this point.
What is your guilty pleasure Prince song? Now, guilty pleasure is the wrong thing to say. Like your most underrated. Give me 2 by Prince
guilty pleasures.
Yeah, sure.
My guilty pleasure is "I Would Die for You."
Okay.
My guilty pleasure is "My Name Is Prince."
Yes. That's mine.
And Sexy Motherfucker.
See, I was going to go My Name is Prince and Pussy Control. I don't know what. Oh, my Lord. You are just out of the loop, my friend.
Fine. I mean, the whole Diamonds and Pearls album, I think, is classic.
Yeah, I could throw 7 in there. There's something about listening to 7 and doing the whip sound and just getting, nothing. Prince could have made an album of farts. And I'd have bought it.
He probably did, and we don't even realize it.
Oh, it's going to be in the unrunreleased stuff.
Bat Dance is probably all farts.
But I still love Bat Dance. No matter how much I shit on it, I
love that whole soundtrack. I'm sorry, you're gonna do the first Batman movie ever. You get Prince to do the whole soundtrack, and it was fucking great. Party Man, with the Jokers dancing around. Prince made that whole scene.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Eric comes in with American Woman just as much. Listen, guys, we got about 7 more minutes, and we're going to take a quick break. We're going to test sound, and Lizzy Borden will be here. If you have questions for the Master of Disguise, get him in, or else me and Eddie are just going to basically hold the whole conversation ourselves. God, I can't wait for this.
I'm really hoping for some squeeing.
This is like Bob Backlund all over again. Although I didn't squee for Bob Backlund, I did get a chicken wing for my efforts.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not going to get a chicken wing at the end of this one.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, if I got, like, I don't know, a free CD out of it. But I already own the record, so it doesn't matter.
I'm sure you bought it twice.
What?
The record.
This one?
Yeah, you probably bought it twice.
No, just once.
No, you didn't get the gold-plated vinyl?
No, I got the downloadable, listen to it in my car. I got the 3-song, was it teaser pack? for because again, that whole $10 a month, stream as much as you want,
Yeah,
download it, whatever.
I feel kind of gypped because I thought the album hadn't released yet, so I didn't even bother looking for it. I just hit shuffle. I'm like,
Nope.
I was like, play it all for me.
I was
Just play
waiting.
it all.
Like Thursday, I was driving home and I was listening to the three songs, which was "My Midnight Things," "The Scar Across My Heart," and "Long May They Haunt Us." And I'm like, that's tomorrow. It is the first time I've been genuinely excited about a release in a long time. Like, that's fucking tomorrow, man.
Hmm.
And then the next day, I'm driving to work. I listened to the entire record on the way to work, all the way back home. Did my homework. I am ready to go. Hello, Craig. Hello, Jason. Thank you for joining us tonight. In about 7 or 8 minutes, we're taking a break. When we come back, it's Lizzy Borden, the master of disguise, and Kevin Harvick's here. Eddie Focus is here. Unfortunately, Loki is not. We send our best wishes to him wherever he is.
We hope for a speedy recovery.
Yes, and come back next week. And that rash will heal. So you know.
Just don't hook up with the burners.
So, any other musical diddlings you want to talk about in the next 5 minutes?
Well, can we touch on a story we were talking about? Obviously, I mentioned the game and the copyright case. I've changed my position on it.
I noticed.
This is strange.
Didn't you say fight me or something like that, or
something like that?
Bring me the fight. Bring me. You're tired. You're hungry. You're poor, and all that.
It's funny. It's funny how it relates to music in a way, because basically it's ironic. The guy who played Shelley in Part 3 of Friday the 13th is now a copyright lawyer.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, he's actually a copyright lawyer because, matter of fact, if you go on his Twitter, it's kind of funny because he was in an episode of Fame.
Wow!
More Music. I Want to Live Forever. He actually showed his residual from being on that episode, and it's a check from MGM for a penny.
No shit.
And he's like, who says the actor's life doesn't pay?
Right.
And he showed that on Twitter. So anyway, he actually broke down the whole case in a way that it actually makes sense. So Victor Miller wrote the first movie, got paid $9,000 to write it. Sean Cunningham and Horror Inc. had come out with the basic premise and said, write the movie. And the way copyright law works is like sometime in the 70s, Congress added something to copyright law so that you could go back after 35 years and renegotiate terms because, and it relates to music, you can list off the number of people that wrote iconic songs that are broke and destitute, and but other people are making money on the music. So the copyright law was changed for people like that, so they could go back after 35 years and renegotiate terms, and if a song's making millions of dollars, that they can actually negotiate some money back.
Right.
That's what Victor Miller did. He's just taking his opportunity to renegotiate with Sean Cunningham. Sean Cunningham decided no to sue Victor Miller. So he's the one that actually started the case. Because he's fighting Victor Miller, saying no, he was a work for hire,
right,
et cetera. And they asked for a summary judgment, which means we agree on the facts of the case. We just need a quick decision. The problem is the timeline expired.
Ooh.
So, not the timeline for the suit. He's already filed
statute of limitation.
No. There's a timeline for the rights. Gotcha. And the rights are now at that timeline, so no new product can come out until the ownership is settled. And one way or another, there will eventually be more stuff. It's just a question of how it's going to be divided up. Okay. But the copyright law was changed for mostly musicians. And this just happens to be the only reason it's been a big deal is because they're fighting his claim that he's legally entitled to have. And it's not even he's legally entitled to money. He's legally entitled to have a sit down and negotiate.
Right.
Cunningham is fighting that negotiation.
Kind of like that bullshit case that was back in the day where, their song goes ding, 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 da, da, ding, ding. And mine goes ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. You see that little difference?
Vanilla Ice?
Totally different. Totally different. You can't sue me for this shit.
Yeah, now Queen gets 50, she'll get 60, and he owes money for that
shit. Yeah, I owe
shit.
money every time
I owe money for that shit.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to give you a little more credit where credit is due on Vanilla Ice. There's a guy who for 15 years was just the ultimate punchline to every musical joke ever in the history of ever. In the last 15 years, That guy is probably doing more with his fame than maybe say Snow or certain members of
Snow.
NKOTB or just certain
Actually,
certain guys that came up in that era.
strangely enough, NKOTB still has put out a couple albums,
Hmm.
and I listened to them, and they're actually not half bad.
I believe it. I
It's
won't
not what you
listen.
expect.
I won't listen, but I believe it.
It's not what you expect. It wouldn't be. It's not a bunch of middle-aged guys still singing about teenage girls and squeeing and stuff.
Until
It's
until
actually
they go on stage and be like, "This is one that you remember from when you were 14 years old." And every 45-year-old crowd
yes.
goes, "Ah!"
Well, obviously, if they do the old stuff, but the new stuff they actually put out is actually very mature because they're all most of them are married.
Yeah.
Most of them have kids now, so the music is very, very different. Obviously, one of them came out of the closet. John
Okay.
was, I think, John. Yeah, it came out of the closet and stuff. So the music is very different, and obviously, Donnie is an actor and all that
Isn't he
stuff.
married to
And
Jenny McCarthy too?
I think they're dating. I don't know if they're married.
Well, good on him.
I
Either
was
way.
watching that show
Hello, Tim
Wahlburgers for a
Cressy.
while.
Wow,
Wahlburgers.
Wahlburgers. I've never eaten there. I saw one up at Patriot Place on Mother's Day when I took
I
Angela
want to try
for
it. I
her.
heard they're okay.
It's a curiosity for me.
I just,
I'll try
I
it.
just want, I just want to see if Mark's there, and I just walk up to him like, "Bro, Transformers 4. What the fuck
Oh, you're
happened,
gonna
bro?
be that guy.
What happened, bro?
You're gonna be that
I'm gonna
fucking
be that
guy.
guy."
All right. Well, you know what? We may just
And
take this
show me
just
Dirk
a.
Stigler. Come on,
Oh
show me.
my God. Well, as advertised, it is now 7:23. We're going to take a few minutes of a break. Stay with us because in 7 minutes, Lizzy Borden is going to be talking about his brand new CD, My Midnight Things, everything that went into it, and maybe we're going to drag another fangirl moment out of me because, God damn it, kids, it's
The kid's got a drink, so you got to squee.
it's Lizzy Borden Day, man. Ah!
Drink,
Drink,
motherfuckers.
get it done. We'll be back. Hello, Loki. No. You know what, guys? I said it at the opening of the show, and I'm going to say it now. If you'd have told 15-year-old Chris that 30 years from that day that he'd be talking to the man responsible for one of his favorite songs, I'd have told you were full of shit. But right now, on the phone, ready to talk to you guys, is the master of disguise himself. It's Lizzy Borden. Lizzy, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing amazing in beautiful Las Vegas.
Oh, by the way, sorry about the Golden Knights. I've been watching your Facebook feed. You were very into it, and I wanted them to win.
Yeah, they did. They did amazing. So it gives us something to look forward to. So it's
Absolutely.
all good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to dive right in. My Midnight Things dropped on Friday. You had an incredible record release party, but the question on my mind is why did we have to wait 11 years between Appointment with Death and now My Midnight Things, which, by the way, fantastic record.
Oh, thank you. Well, we were touring, and just it was really fun. We were finding a new audience, and they were responding to the back catalog, and I had released the last couple of albums, and it was the crash of the industry, and we had the old '80s record deals, and all of that stuff didn't work, and it kind of made no sense to make records that I didn't have a chance to get it to my audience. So over all this time, Metal Blade Records figured out a way to create a new system, and so they have a new way of doing business now, and that changed the game. And now they're hugely successful building their own platform instead of trying to work off the back of what was the end of the record industry. So, and they're bigger than they ever were. So. Brian Slago from Metal Blade talked me into making records again, so here I am.
Excellent. Now, Eddie, you had a question you wanted to ask.
Well, yeah, it all just kind of fits into what I was thinking. So, like 10, 11 years ago, we didn't have all these streaming services. So now, you pretty much, I'm assuming they worked in that marketing into working with the streaming services and the digital services to really get the music out there a lot easier. Because I was telling Chris on the way up here, I was listening to all the back catalog right off my phone, just hitting shuffle on title. And so it's definitely you working to utilize this new wave in music distribution.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. It's a combination of lots of different things, and that's what they figured out. The tentacles in every aspect is a viable road to go. Because in the '80s they had their little format. You had your publicist; she did all the work as far as setting up awareness, and then you had the radio stations, and they would do all the work trying to get the radio play. And then you had these different formats. But now it's really everywhere. Every nook and cranny, every piece of the puzzle to market a record. So in some ways, it's back then you were able to get into the biggest magazines and the biggest and if you got into the major radio stations across this country, it was massive, and it would happen overnight. But now it's on a smaller scale, but there's so many more outlets. So you have a chance to reach more people, and you have a chance to reach people that never heard of you, which is really amazing. And so it's a different structure now, and in some ways it's a lot better. And so far, we're only a few days out from the release, so I'm just now exploring on how it's all working, because I used to work with the old ways of doing things, and this is the first record that I've done with the new way.
And I got to tell you, I don't know if it was your idea or Metal Blade Records to release the 3-song teaser pack, which was My Midnight Things, Long May They Haunt Us, The Scar Across My Heart. I have overdosed on that for about 2 weeks, and as I was telling Eddie before you came on, I was waiting. Friday could not come fast enough. I love the record, but what I'm noticing about this record is that it's a different theme that I don't think I've heard out of a Lizzy Borden record before. Appointment with Death was much about dark, pain, this and that. I go back to Visual Lies, which to me, still my number one favorite Lizzy Borden album of all time. Not ashamed to say it. That was more about, it seemed like personal heartbreak. This one has a lot of love in it, which many people might find to be weird for a Lizzy Borden record. What was your inspiration for the songwriting?
Well, for each album, I usually work off a theme from every album I've done. And, I've tackled so many. In the first record, I wrote about murder.
Mm-hmm.
And, a guy kills his girlfriend and buries her in the backyard. And then, you go on through, and each album, the last two, Deal with the Devil was about religion. Appointment with Death was about death. So I really knew that I didn't want to have anything, the heavy part of whatever theme I was working with. I always try and dig down deep, and so I decided I wanted to figure out what I could contribute to the most overused theme of most songs that are written. So I decided to write about love, but I usually have the darker side of love. It's kind of the way I think. So, and it's also interesting for me because I didn't want to write about, the typical way, why did you leave me and all that. I wasn't interested in that.
Didn't want a Taylor Swift.
You cannot.
Yeah,
there's no way I could picture that.
I didn't really want to. I didn't want to talk about that. So like obsessed with you. That song is a very different kind of love. And I really wanted to dig down deep, but I also wanted to leave those doors open so you don't know if it's a female point of view or a male point of view. And so, I think I know more women that are obsessed than men are. But so, I try to explore all these songs and try to leave the doors open so they can have multiple interpretations. So that's kind of, that was the theme for this album.
And it worked out. I mean, I'm not a musician. I've dabbled a little, but I don't know what it takes to make a record. I don't know what it takes to have inspiration and want to have a theme or whatever. But from the opening of My Midnight Things to the end of Waiting in the Wings, it wasn't your typical, like you said, it wasn't your typical, I love you, let's get married and have a bunch of babies. It explored every side of love that maybe no one else that I can think of has written about.
Yeah, that's what the goal is for every record I do, but especially this one. I really I wanted to. It was like a big piece of. It was like a big puzzle, and I was like piecing in all the pieces, trying to figure it out. And like I said, I wanted it to be multidimensional, which I try and do with all my songs. But for this one, especially since I was talking with such a universal topic, I really wanted it to be multidimensional. And people, so far I've heard the descriptions of some of my songs on this album, and some of them are things I didn't even think of, and then some of them are right on the money. So it's just to me that's the best response I could get when someone tells me what they think the song is about, and it's something that I didn't even think about, because that's the way I write. I try to write with those doors open so they could be interpreted in multiple different ways.
Absolutely, because when I first heard Long May They Haunt Us, I immediately pictured like late 60s, early 70s, those storytelling songs like The Last Kiss, or you know the kind of songs I'm talking about. It was just it was, but it
Oh,
had the heavy edge to it. It
yeah. I mean, with that song, I mean, all the songs on this album were heavily '70s influenced.
wow.
You know, you can hear Queen in my vocals. You know, I use kind of the same blueprint that they use, and the guitars I wanted them to be uh, not heavy metal guitars. I wanted them to be wide open because you know I had done heavy metal guitars so much, and it pigeonholes the song, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it that to drag down these songs. So I purposely didn't do a lot of heavy metal riffs, but I really wanted it to be heavy and loud guitars. But yeah, I mean, all those elements. "Long May They Haunt Us" was one of those. I wrote that on a walk. I just went on a
Wow.
walk, and then when I came back, it was done, and most of the lyrics were done as well. So it was crazy, you know. I mean, each song came to me in a different way, but that one, really wanted to write. You know, I lost people in my life, two guitar players who were my great friends,
Hmm.
and different other people. And I also wanted to write about just people that are no longer in your life, not necessarily passed away. So I wanted to write that celebration anthem, and I don't think I've ever heard that one. You know, there's a couple close to it, but this one I really wanted to try and that haunting thing where you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about this person. It's a haunting thing, but and you don't want to make it go away. You want to always wake up with that thought in your head. And so that's kind of what I wrote that song about. I wanted that celebration.
So when you're in your zone or your place, when your creative point, what comes first to you, the music or the lyrics, or do they just kind of form together?
With this album, it was the lyrics and the melody lines. They all came first. You know, I kind of usually start there, but for this album, more so than any of them, the melody lines were were dominant. You know, and they came first, and then the lyrics came, and then I knew what kind of I wanted the music to be an accompaniment to my vocals. And usually in heavy metal, most guitar players write the structure of the music, and then a singer will sing over the top of it. But I didn't do it that way. I reversed that, and I wrote the melody lines and the lyrics first. So I wanted the music to be an accompaniment to what I had already written, and so that's kind of the way I did it. I kind of reverse engineered the whole thing.
Wow.
How far do
Good.
you usually get before you realize something might not be working or you need to kind of overhaul something? Like what at what point do you realize this isn't quite gelling the way I want?
Well, because you work, I mean, I write and record at the same time. It happens all the time. Where I'll have the whole song put together, and I'll love all of it except for I hate the one section. So I just chop that section out and rewrite that section. You know, so it's a lot different than it used to be. And but yeah, I mean, when you're working on this thing, it is like a big puzzle. So I'm putting this puzzle together, and I mean, I really wanted to concentrate on each section because I wanted each section of the music to really speak. I didn't want any throwaway sections. So that was kind of where I was at on this whole thing. I really didn't want anything just laying flat. I really wanted to pay attention to all of it.
And you've always been very. Are you writing all the lyrics, or do you have outside writers come in to write with you? Before I go into my main question, I guess that's my side question. Do you write it all yourself, or are there side writers coming in and doing lyrics with you?
No, I've always written my own lyrics and melody lines and music.
I've always said to people who I know in my life that are fans of yours as well, I'd love to get inside your head for one day just to see where some of
No,
these
you wouldn't.
fantastic. Oh, no, you have no idea, sir. I would just for one day to see like where a visual lies came from, where an under my skin came from, or under your skin, my mistake, or my midnight things came from. I would just love to sit inside there and go, now I get it. Now I see it. The question I have is you've been doing this 35 years, at least on the national recording level. I'm sure you sang before that. How is your voice still so strong and so amazing? Because I can listen to Me Against the World right now and then put on My Midnight Things and hear the same powerful Lizzy Borden voice that I heard 30 years ago.
There's no secret. I think it's muscle memory because I've been doing it for so long. Even before Lizzy Borden, my voice sounded exactly like this. That's why when anyone compares me with a band from the '80s, I laugh because I was singing and my voice sounded the same before those bands were even together. So it's one of those weird things. But I think it's muscle memory because I still don't warm up. I've never warmed up. I just kind of do a yoga breathing exercise, and that's kind of what I do. You'll never hear me backstage doing scales or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's muscle memory. I think that it's weird. A guy named Eddie Bravo, who's a jiu-jitsu expert, but also a big Lizzy Borden fan and a musician. He re-recorded the song "Waiting in the Wings," which is off my Master of Skies album. And he called me. He was in the Hollywood Hills recording, and I was in North Hollywood. So he calls me over. He goes, "I want you to hear this." So I came over to the studio and listened to it, and I thought it was really good. And then he just stuck a microphone in front of my face and told me to sing it. And I just said, "Look, we never played this song live. I haven't sung this song since I sang it on the album." And he goes, "I'll just give it a shot." And pretty much what you hear is my first take.
Wow.
And so it was pretty mind blowing. Even I was a little bit baffled by it. I'm like, wow, how did I even remember that? I mean, they had to get the lyrics off the internet because it's been so long since I even heard the song, let alone sing it. So I just did that all on a whim and just belted it out, and that's the way you hear it. And Brian Slagle from Metal Blade said it sounds just like you did when you recorded it. So it just in 1989. So I just think it's muscle memory.
I thought the same thing when I heard the Waiting in the Wings 2018. It took me back to that place, that moment in time. It was awesome. And I know all of these songs are your babies. These tracks that you just put out this past Friday. And by the way, if I'm reading correctly, you did hit #1 on a couple of different charts. So congratulations on that accomplishment. All of these songs.
Thank you. Yeah, the charts are still just coming in now, and I've seen some European charts, and we're I think 93 in all of Germany.
Okay.
Because they don't have a 200, they have a top 150.
Okay.
I think that comes out today actually, and I just saw where it's at, and I'm competing with every major artist in the world, and so we're like 93 in the top 150 in all of Germany. So the charts are not just starting to trickle in from all over the world. So it's pretty fun for me because I haven't done it in so long. So it's pretty cool.
And the distribution now is just instantaneous. It's fantastic.
Right. So anybody who's listening to this right now, if you have iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, go find My Midnight Things, Lizzy Borden. All these songs are your babies. Do you have one from this record that means the world to you that you think this is my masterpiece on this record?
Yeah, there's always one, like on Visualize, it was Me Against the World, and on Love You to Pieces with American Metal, and there was always one where it's a little bit different than the rest of the album, and Master of Skies was Master of Skies. For this album, I'm thinking it's the one that everyone, if everyone picks the top 3 on the album, and they're all different, everybody has a different song that they like, which is really cool. I mean, I'm hearing some of these really heavy metal guys talk about "Run Away with Me," which is probably the most commercial song I've ever written. But I think the song is "Long May They Haunt Us." It means the most, and it's always on everybody's top 3 on this album that I've talked to. And so I think and that was the one I wrote without any music or any guitar or anything, no piano, no nothing. I just wrote it when I was on a walk. So it's the strongest melody, I think, and the lyrics came to me they just came flying out. So it was the most effortless song, but it says the most. So in my opinion, it's a Long May They Haunt Us.
And I have my check marks right here. I have the list of these songs right here. My check marks are My Midnight Things, Long May They Haunt Us, and Perfect Poison was a fantastic fan. The whole record's fantastic, but those are the 3 that stand out to me.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a different one, but usually Long May They Haunt Us is in that list. So, and like I said, it was one of the songs that came together the smoothest, and it says the most.
I believe that. And I know your time is limited. We only have about, I think, if I'm looking at my clock right, about 7 more minutes. I got a couple questions that maybe you can enlighten our audience on. Every time I see Lizzy Borden and the Lizzy Borden band, the image changes. Go back to Visualize with the big poofy hair and the silver lipstick and that god awful jacket. Do you still have the jacket?
So we have some of the props in costumes, but I don't really. Yeah, I mean, there's some of it we have.
Okay, but the image changes. The music is always awesome. It is fantastic. I'm a fan till I die. I'm going fanboy right now. I don't care. Drink up, guys, because I said
Yeah.
if I go fanboy, you guys got to drink
Lizzie, you're
up.
missing it, but he's like squeed 3 times. So
Easily. I just kept it quiet. What is the impetus behind the image changes?
Well, if you go back to my influences with Kiss and Bowie and the Tubes and Cooper, they all had one thing in common. They created characters, and those characters they played on stage, and that is what I love to do. And so with each album, I create a main character, I write a backstory, and I try to figure out where he's coming from and what he's doing and why he is the way he is. And then I'm able to start writing the album around that. So obviously I need a look, and usually the circumstances are the reason why. Like in Minister Society, the stiletto character that I had, he was a general in an apocalyptic aftermath. So he had his little gang of that was following him, thought he was the guy, and and he was kind of a Clockwork Orange type guy.
Right.
And and for Love You to Pieces, it was about a guy who killed his girlfriend and buried her in the backyard. And Visualize was a character I had called Oblivion, and he had his story. And each character is really the start of the theme. As soon as I figure out my theme, then I figure out my character, and then I write the backstory on the character, and then the lyrics are the front story. Where he's going to go or where he wants to go. And so the look is just like the Oblivion character in Visualize. It was about a guy who was traveling through electronics and through the system of TV and computers and all of that stuff. Again, a couple years later, they made a movie called Shocker. But
I love that film.
But yeah, well, that was my idea.
No kidding.
For the Visualize character, and I think someone snaked that from me, but who knows? But yeah, that was the Oblivion character, so that's why he was all silver. And it was all about electricity and all of that stuff. So
this is why they got to bring back the rock operas.
Characters look. What's that?
This is why they got to bring back the rock operas. They used to have those movies with they were rock
Pink
and roll
Floyd,
centric.
The Wall, Tommy.
Nobody does that anymore. And it's like you're listing off all these great characters that I think would make fantastic movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oblivion, again, going back to Visualize, and I hate to keep pounding this record because he's got this fantastic new record called My Midnight Things. Get out there and buy it. If you do one thing right in the world this year, buy My Midnight Things. That Oblivion, Oblivion character, I remember reading an interview in Rip Magazine where you did half the interview as Lizzy and half the interview as Oblivion. And as a 15-year-old kid, I'm like, okay, this guy is severely tapped. I like him.
Yeah, I mean the characters were such a big deal. I mean, I remember doing the tour for that album, and I stayed in character during live interviews like we did it. We did like the Tonight Show in Japan, and I did the whole thing in character, and those people are generally terrified of me.
Good job.
It's but really I have to know why these characters are the way they are, and that helps me form the personalities. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, it was my when I grew up on David Bowie doing Ziggy Stardust or Kiss, Gene and Paul especially being in full character, and of course Cooper and the Tubes and all that. That kind of gave me the blueprint of what I wanted to do, and I was hoping that I could do my own take on having that same kind of philosophy.
That is fantastic. Now, I know, again, we only have a couple minutes left. We're going to end this on a fun note. Guys, the CD is called My Midnight Things. Go to lizzyborden.com or go to lokiandjabroni.com. Click on our Amazon link. Buy the CD today. And I believe there's some vinyl out there for you as well. Lizzy, if you could draft your dream band, one singer, one guitarist, one bassist, one drummer, who would it be?
Now, drummer, I have to say Joey Scott because he's my favorite drummer.
Why is he your favorite drummer? We already kind of revealed this to our listeners, but
he's my favorite drummer because he's old school, but he thinks forward thinking. So he doesn't want to be stuck in the past. He's very much like me. Mm-hmm. He wants to bring all that stuff that he's done and how he's done it.
And he's phenomenal.
And bring it into the future. And when you hear new drummers, it almost sounds like a drum machine because they're so, they just have a way of doing things now that's different. And thank God he came from a different format. And so I guess, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the bass player for Cheap Trick.
Oh, cripes. You got me. Not Nielsen. Was it Bunny Carlos?
No.
All right. Ed's going to the Google machine. We'll get back to that one, but we got
anyway,
that one.
he's my favorite bass player. He's just amazing. He knows exactly what to play for whatever song. So, as far as
Tom
guitar
Peterson?
players,
Tom Peterson.
Huh?
Tom Peterson.
Yeah, Tom Peterson. Yeah. I always draw a blank, even though there's people I listen to all the time. But as far as guitar players, I'd just probably say Brian May. I just think he's just so tasty and amazing. And he plays he pays attention to the song. It's all about the song. And then when he brings his elements where he can explode, he does. And he plays every note you pay attention to. There's not a bunch of scribbling, not a bunch of notes that you're just, you can't even hear them because they're going so fast. Every note you're paying attention to. So, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now you need a singer.
Oh, singer.
You can pick yourself.
I was just about to say the same thing. You can pick yourself. It's completely in the realm.
David Bowie, I think.
Nice.
He's always had this great voice that, during the Ziggy days, he had this kind of a pop rock voice, and then he lowered it to have all this inflections, when he got on through, so he's able to do these amazing things and transform his voice in so many different ways. I love
him and Freddie Mercury easily.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie Mercury, yeah. I mean, come on.
The chameleons in the rock scene, really.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Just looking at this list, you have 4 different styles that people may look at and go, "Oh, this doesn't make sense," but I'm looking at it right now. I'm a music freak, and I'm saying this could be a badass band.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I like unique things. Even for this album, I didn't want it to sound like anything. So that's why I produced it the way I did. I could have easily just done stuff I've done in the past, but I try to go for unique things. So having all those guys in one band would be very unique. Probably it'd be one of the most unique bands on the planet, just because their styles are so ingrained in their own styles, in their own world. So you put that together, and my God, it would be mind blowing.
Absolutely. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and lick your ass, but you know what? I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna lick your ass. There's nothing from any of your catalog that is garbage. You have not made a bad record, in my opinion. One of the few artists, bands, etc., that I am a fan of, that I can say every record is awesome. Every record means something. Walking right up to My Midnight Things that you can go out and get right now at lizzyborden.com or at Amazon through lokiandjabroni.com. You're just fantastic. And the last question I have, because I know you're pressed for time, is if you do an American tour, which I'm sure you will, and you come through the Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts area, can we please have some tickets? I just want to come. I just want to come. Thank you. I want 15-year-old Chris to walk up to you and just say thank you for everything you've given to me for 30 years. I'm wearing the shirt now. Is the 30 years of American metal that you put out some years ago? The minute you posted it, I bought it.
Absolutely, I can guarantee that. And you bring the podcast backstage, and I'm creating the show right now. I'm working on it, and I plan on doing a proper North American tour. So
nice.
I'm almost guaranteed to come through.
Well, we are friends on Facebook. We have been since I thought I was going to write a book, and you said I would give you some quotes, but that didn't happen because I'm lazy. But one last question, because it just came to me: the "Long May They Haunt Us" video. You start with the ghost white paint and the around your eyes, and as the video progresses, the image changes. Obviously, that's pre-thought, but what was the thought behind that?
Well, the character was brooding because he had lost the most important person in his life, so he couldn't get out of that, and so presumably there for decades, and that's why there's old makeup that I'm using. He's just kind of decaying, and he doesn't even know it and doesn't care. And then we wanted to use the black and white makeup to show different elements. It's the white was obviously a positive thing, and the black was the thing that was taking over his personality because he didn't know how to get out of his own way because he was stuck. And then you see the flashbacks where he is with his girl, and she's constantly vanishing on him, and he's constantly trying to get her, and he can't because she keeps slipping away. So that was the reason for the different makeup. I mean, we wanted the character to go. We only had 3 minutes to do this, so all the dimensions and the things he was going through, we tried to adapt the music or the makeup to that. So that was the reason for it all. It all had some meaning, and at the end, he disappears, and it turns out he's the ghost, kind of a Sixth Sense type of thing. But it turns out he was the ghost all along, and he's brooding because he doesn't know he's a ghost.
Wow.
So and she's the one who's haunted by him. So it's there was lots of twists and turns in that video, and it was really a lot of fun. But I spent all in total probably about 10 hours in makeup.
Ew.
Inside of 2 days of shooting. So it was it was a lot of makeup.
Well, you are a master. You are a master of your craft. I have to say that.
It was fun to do, and it was worthwhile because we really wanted to show this character going through different emotions, and we used the makeup to bring those emotions. And it was the first time I did a video sitting in a chair for most of it, which was a really unique thing. It's very difficult to perform in a chair, in a throne. And that was really a challenge, and it was a lot of fun to do because I really had to figure out how to do it. It's one thing leaping around and swinging your hair around, but or just regular performing, but it's all another thing to sitting in a chair and doing it. So it was really unique and challenging and fun.
And it came across on the screen. I love the video. Probably one of the more powerful videos you've ever done. Again, my favorite is still Under Your Skin, but again, this goes right up there, number 2 behind that video. Guys, his name is Lizzy Borden. The CD is called My Midnight Things. Get out there, LizzyBorden.com, or go to Amazon, LokiandJabroni.com, and buy the record. I'm going to be keeping my eye out for those tour dates, Lizzy. I will send you a message. I would love to come just shake your hand and say thank you for 30 years of my life and being a grand influence in my musical tastes. You have been amazing tonight. Thank you so much.
I appreciate all of that. And let's, like I said, when we come through, come on backstage, bring the podcast, and we'll continue this.
You bet. Thank you so much.
Okay, man.
All
Great
right.
talking to you.
You as well. Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
All right. Bye.
There it was, man. There it was. There it fucking was. 30 years I've been waiting. 30 years of just enjoying this guy's music.
What a
And
great guy too. Just
oh, you know,
yeah.
I
We've
can't.
been fortunate to talk to some like pretty popular musicians, and they're all fantastic
Mhm.
people.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah. So it's really good to hear from them and get that perspective, because you hear the music, you see the videos, you don't always get to talk about these things, like why this, who that. You
How many
know,
times have you listened to a record, whether it's Lizzy Borden or Kanye or Vanilla Ice, and say, "Why did you do this here? What were you thinking here?"
hmm
And with this record, and again, I brought it up way early on, is that he's never really been a guy that sings about love. But I noticed when, again, Friday, I overdosed on the record. Saturday, I
I'm gonna
overdosed
have to
on the
listen
record.
now. It's been built up so much. I
Oh,
got to listen.
God.
I'm disappointed I didn't listen to it on the way up.
It's very much, in my opinion, again, if I were pressed, and again, when Lizzie comes through town, we are going to bring the rig. We're going to sit, four-headed monster. Loki will be there. God rest his soul. Or whatever the
Did you
case
really
is.
just fucking say that?
No, I was kidding. The four-headed monster. We're going to be sitting with Lizzy Borden like we did with Shaman's Harvest, and we're going to pick that brain. But you know, this I was so ready for this record, and it didn't disappoint. But again, you go back to Appointment with Death, Death and Pain. You go to Master Disguise. Like he give him the axe about the guy who kills his girlfriend, buries him in the backyard. Every album has a theme, and you can hear it throughout the whole thing. Some bands put out a concept record, like Queensryche did back
hmm
with Operation Mindcrime. Still one of my favorite concept records by a band who doesn't do concept records. Then you have a band like Kiss, who puts out a concept record that like 7 people like and a million people hate. However, there are a whole lot of people that will say, "Hello, Eric Mitchell, hello, Joshua Smith." There are a whole lot of people that will say, you know, Kiss's Music from the Elder is the most amazing thing on pressed vinyl. Horseshit, but that's a different story for a different time. Lizzy Borden, every album by him, Lizzy Borden the man and Lizzy Borden the band, is a concept, and you live the story as you're listening. My Midnight Things is such a fantastic album. It's in my top 3 of Lizzy Borden albums, and that's tough to say. It's only been out 5 days, and it's already jumped over a whole bunch of other albums.
Because there obviously people were waiting for it.
Oh
Just
yeah,
sitting there waiting.
oh yeah, without question. I mean, if I had to break it down right now, it would go Visualize is number 1, Appointment with Death number 2, and then My Midnight Things number 3. If you can leap over Master of Disguise, you've done something, and he's obviously outdone himself this time. So thank you again to Lizzy Borden. Thank you to Hannah and Chip and everybody at the label for getting him here.
Yeah,
He was great to talk to.
and good luck. If you really think about it too, and one of the reasons I talked to him about the streaming services and all that is he. You gotta think they're really starting over from scratch and a whole new playing field
Mm-hmm.
for music. I mean, people independents now are making a living off their music without having to have the big record deals.
Sure.
Just they might just be making maybe 40 to 50 grand a year, but they make 40, 50 grand a year making your own music that you
Done.
can distribute.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? So it's a whole new playing field. Obviously, Lizzy Borden, he's still got the machine behind them. But yeah, lots of luck to them in this new age. Yeah, the '80s bands got hit pretty hard
He
by
was
the
at the
grunge
tail
era.
end. Well, no, he started around. Let me look at my shirt. Hold on. 1983 was his first recorded
Yeah.
work that hit the. I think it was Given the Axe in '83, if I'm doing my math right. So now you work forward. If you listen, and I'm throwing Visualize out there only because Visualize was, in my opinion, the perfect Lizzy Borden record until Appointment with Death hit.
Mm-hmm.
But then, even so, Visual is number 1, Appointment's number 2, and then obviously now My Midnight Things, amazing. Listen back. You listened to Me Against the World earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to get in your car, hit on your little Spotify gimmick or whatever title, and listen to My Midnight Things, his voice is still as powerful today as it was 30
Well,
years ago.
we talked. I felt like his voice only perfects. I know as you listen to the early stuff and you listen on, you can tell the vocal improves. You know,
and for
the range improves.
Mhm.
It only gets better. You know, there's nothing degrading about his voice as it goes on, as opposed to like some other singers that we talked about.
right, and if you were to say, I don't know, I will point out just looking at the set list. Obsessed with You, I think you would like. The production is great. Long May They Haunt Us. I think you listened to that
I'll
when I
listen.
sent it out.
I'll listen to the album.
Okay,
Now that I know it, I didn't even realize it's out. Shame on me.
no, that's all
I
right.
thought we were building up to it, but I'll listen to the album.
I was hoping to get Lizzy last week, and unfortunately,
Oh, that's right.
that's
That's
right.
right. The scheduling. Okay.
There was a lot of scheduling going on. He's building up to the album release party, which was held on Thursday night in Las Vegas. Friend of mine was there, a musician friend, Andrew Freeman, sent pictures.
hmm
I'm like, you can eat a bag of dicks, man. I can't believe you're sending me these pictures. But then again, the day before, and I haven't talked to you since then, really, other than thumb communication. Lizzy, because he's friends with me on Facebook, I got this invite. Lizzy Borden album release party held at this club in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here I am in
If only.
Norwich, Connecticut. Oh, yeah,
If
exactly.
only.
I would have gone. I would have just been there. But we are.
Folks, this is why you got to donate to the Patreon, because we would have quit
we
our
packed
jobs.
the rig up
We would
right
have quit
now.
our jobs, and we would have gone to the record release party. We would have had a blast. Talk to the band.
Joey Scott's amazing. Joey Scott's his brother, and they've been playing together since the beginning. And the chemistry between them is that, like Lizzy said, I have the melody, I have the lyric, I have the chorus, I have this, and for Joe to come in and just pound away and be able to tap in because
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's a dynamic when you come in.
Drink. Just amazing. I can't believe that after 30 years I just sat and talked with that man.
Like I said, that's a dynamic to where he's like, I got this melody, and just to be able, just look him in the eye and be like, I got you, brother, and like boom, 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 there it is, and you got a track,
right?
You know.
If I could ask you a question, again, not
no,
being,
you may not.
Yes, I can. Not being Kevin, what'd you think? Didn't think so.
You probably don't listen to that country
guys,
shit.
this is why the live stream is so important, because you're listening to audio only, and Kevin Harvick is standing here not saying a damn word. But you can watch it back on YouTube.
Once those NASCAR drivers go big time, they don't care about the little people.
He still cares about me. He hangs out in my basement every day.
What are you talking about? He's looking right over you. He's looking past you, bro.
He's looking at all the Kevin Harvick gear that's over here in the C&J Speed Review portion of the studio. He's like, yeah, that's all my gear. I get resige on that.
And
that's exactly what he's doing. Right, we get nothing.
We get nothing.
Again, not a rock and roll fan. We all know this. Anybody who's been listening to us for, 3 years knows you're not a
very
rock and roll
picky
guy.
about rock and roll. Yeah.
But you listen to some Lizzy on the way here. You're now
It's good.
You're now committed to listening to My Midnight Things going forward. Does he stand the test? And that's important to me, because in my opinion he does. He stands the test of time. Whereas if every Bon Jovi album in the last 18 years has sounded the same, and it's the same old blah blah, this house won't sell, you can't go home again crap. Lizzy Borden keeps reinventing himself.
Well, here you got to ask this question to really, really talk about this. You got to ask yourself this question: how many of these bands, from that era? I mean, let's not say from that era. Lizzy Borden has obviously been around.
He's transcended, where a lot of those bands are gone.
Because 2008 was the last record.
Yes.
So
2007, Appointment with Death.
So he's been around.
Yep.
So how many of these bands are just victims of self-sabotage?
99% probably. And like he mentioned, he's lost. There's been a couple of guitar players that have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the guy who played on Appointment with Death, which was a guy named Dario. When they were touring, they were doing this, and they were doing that. They weren't putting out new material. Zakk Wylde came in from Black Label Society. You know me. I think Zakk Wylde is there's God, there's Dimebag, there's Zakk Wylde, and then there's a couple others underneath. When Zakk Wylde comes and he says, "Hey brother, I want you to be in my band," you don't blink, you go. And when I met Zakk Wylde in 2014 at a taping of That Metal Show, which if you see that anywhere, you'll notice at the end credits, I'm wearing this shirt to the show. I'm on TV, bro. VH1 Classic. Go. Ah. But he noticed the shirt. Like, yeah, I just stole Lizzy's guitar player. I'm like, yeah, I know. Kind of an off-putting thing. No worries, no worries. Everybody's cool, bro. Everybody's cool. Zach Wilde's another cool guy. I'd love to get Zach on the phone. We'd have to make this a 6-hour podcast because he never shuts up.
Yeah.
But, he's had his image changes. He's had his band changes. It's him and Joey beginning to end. And it still sounds the same. It sounds amazing. It sounds fresh. He changes with the times. And this record is living proof.
Oh, yeah. Well, you gotta change because people are gonna even your hardcore fan is gonna lose interest if you're regurgitating the same stuff over and over again. Unless you're Kiss, in which case you're gonna always love Kiss. But
not always. There have been times.
Oh, when Gene opens his mouth.
Mostly yes.
Yeah.
Mostly yes.
But you can tell just by talking to Lizzy, there's a certain level of perfectionist in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Why I was curious. So, at what point do you decide something's not working? You need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Start over.
Great question, by the way.
Or cut it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just tell by his answer that the gist I got, and I'm sure he'd always chime in, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like he's going to put as much work in as he needs to put out maybe not the perfect record, but the perfect story in his mind.
Mm-hmm. Like when is a record done? When is a movie done? When is this? When you're happy with the product, here it is. I'm ready to give this to the world.
God, if we had all the time in the world, I'd love to ask him writing questions, obviously. But he just seems like that. Obviously, there's the musician, there's the singer, there's the entertainer, obviously, the show. That's why I love Cooper when he keeps talking about Cooper. I love Cooper, obviously, and David Bowie and all that.
Oh, yeah.
The show is important. The entertainment's important. Then there's just my gist of it. There's a filmmaker there too. So he's telling these elaborate stories with the videos and stuff. These are short films. When we really break it down, these are short films set to music, which is why I said we need to bring back the rock operas. You don't see it anymore, like the Who and all them doing these movies and stuff. Like what's the last thing you really had? What, Tenacious D, Pick a Destiny?
I don't even count that.
I mean, I actually count it.
You have to.
I count it because right in the beginning, was it Dio?
Yes.
Dio comes out of the poster and is just like, so you want to rock? And it's like...
And then Meatloaf is his dad.
Meatloaf is his dad. Dave Grohl is Satan. Like, you got to count it. It's a comedy, obviously, but you got to count it. You don't have these serious films like that anymore. And you used to have a lot. You had the Beatles doing them one every year for a while. You don't really see it anymore because it's all commercial pap. It's another Marvel movie.
But then you get some garbage like Rock of Ages, which was just... I'm not even going to talk about it.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, I didn't either, but...
I like Jack Black as Tenacious D, but...
Yeah, tis what it is.
Right? He was in Rock of Ages, right?
I believe
Jack
so.
Jack Black? Yeah.
I know Tom Cruise was in it, and the chick from Dancing with the Stars, and all this other hubbub.
What was that movie with Alec Baldwin and was that Rock of Ages?
I think no, that was was that Hairspray?
No. Alec Baldwin,
Shampoo, gimmick?
Tom Cruise has a bit part
Rock
in
of
it.
Ages. No, wait. I don't know.
I don't know if we're thinking of the same movie.
Probably not.
Google.
You got the Google machine. Guys, once again, if I sound like a shameless shill, I am. Go to LokiandJabroni.com, hit the affiliate link, go to Amazon, buy Lizzy Borden's record, My Midnight Things. If you want to dive into the back catalog, same thing. If you want a collectible vinyl, if you want an autographed gimmick, if you want anything, go to LizzyBorden.com, buy the stuff. Can't thank Lizzy enough. I hope it came through when we close this out, how appreciative I am that this guy who basically sang the theme song to my life up through and including about 4 days ago.
Oh, we are both talking about Rock of Ages.
Are we?
I'm confusing that movie with that one where Jack Black's a music teacher.
School of Rock.
Yeah, okay.
I love that film.
You didn't like Rock of Ages?
It was pep. Anyway, Me Against the World was the soundtrack of my life, basically. And anybody who's known me up through and including a couple days ago It really was. It was the soundtrack of my life. It's me against the world. Fuck you, thank you, bye, all that. I, I can't wait to meet this man in person when he comes around to this area and we bring the rig and we sit down with 4 microphones and just have a good time and just look him in the eye and tell him how much that song and everything he does. I love all of his stuff. I don't think there's I'm doing it again. There's no such thing as a bad Lizzy Borden record, in my opinion. And if there's a Lizzy Borden fan out there that wants to fight me, bring it. I don't care. I will tell you that every album is unique. Every album is awesome. He doesn't fall back on his laurels, and that's the beauty of what he does. You know, Give Him the Axe is just as awesome as Visual Eyes, just as awesome as Master of Disguise, or Appointment with Death, or My Midnight Things. He finds a way to make each record as close to awesome as the last one. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, as much as I hate when artists put out like they put out a big project and everybody loves it. Next year comes no album. Year after that, no album. Year after that, no album. Next thing you know, 9 years go by. Album comes out and it's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And you're like, you had 9 years to do that. But there is something to be said. There's certain artists that pull this off really well. Meatloaf being one of them.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't put out an album for like decade. Album comes out, still the same quality as the album before.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you're taking your time with it, or you're waiting for that inspiration to hit. So there's something to be said about knowing, and I think he touched on it a little bit, if I understood him right, where the industry was changing, and it's like I could just pump out product just to stay relevant, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be garbage, or I can take the step back, know that the industry is changing, keep doing the shows, stay relevant like that with the stuff that's good, and then when the time is right, come out with the even better stuff. And now I'm still relevant. Don't have that reputation of putting out garbage. Here's the quality.
And with that constant touring schedule that he has kept since Appointment with Death until My Midnight Things came out this past Friday, I'm sure he's opening himself to new audiences at Rocklahoma, at Wacken in Germany, at all these, he's always on the road in Europe and huge in Europe. So the United States crowd hasn't had a taste of that unless you go to Rocklahoma or unless you go to Shiprocked, which is the cruise ship gimmick that goes on every year that has 8,000 bands on it. I would love to see, a nice tight club tour around here. Toad's Place,
I
the
was
Webster
going to ask
Theater.
him about Toad's Place if he's ever played there.
I want to say
forgot
he
to
has.
ask. I'm sure everybody has.
I can't remember where I saw him on that Visual Lies tour, which is why I asked him about that gaudy ass jacket, because he wore it on stage for the first 2-3 songs, and then it got tossed behind the drum riser and whatnot, and he was just Lizzy, but it was the big hair. Watch the Visual Lies video to get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You'll understand. But I want to see like a nice club tour where you got enough of a stage. You can have the makeup, you can have the gimmicks, you can have all of that, like King Diamond did some years ago. Don't look up King Diamond; your head will explode. Just don't.
Unless they're being interviewed, I probably won't listen.
Dude, if I could get King Diamond on the show, we'd all have fun. He's that kind of guy.
I always have fun.
But guys, in honor of Loki this week, no top 10. If Loki's not here, it's still our show, but it's not our show. So sorry, not sorry. We're not gonna have top 10. We have, I don't know how many usable minutes left. Ed is the captain of the clock.
We got some time.
Okay. Well, hello, Crystal. I see you're watching. If you have any music questions, send them in.
Audience participation,
absolutely,
or any other music news that we can cover.
I'm wondering if next week we shouldn't just open it up to the people and just have another Ask Us Anything. Just and pimp it every single day. You want to get on? You want to?
Well, I think next week is it's fucked up, isn't it?
Next week or the week after, I'm not sure. Hello, Tommy Summers. Tommy Summers is watching Three Sides of the Coin Kiss podcast. Go find that on.
For those of you tuning in late.
Yeah, you missed a great interview. Lizzy Borden was fantastic.
Don't know what to say.
You'll have to listen back on audio only, or when we close this video and it finally does the whole upload gimmick, schneebitzfernum.com, watch it back. Lizzy Borden was gold. I geeked out. I can't geek out anymore. Yes, I can.
Drink, bitches.
Do what you gotta do. Having said that,
I think this is a new world record for Jabroni squeeze.
I don't think I've ever squeed before on the podcast, but hey.
Didn't you squee for Joey?
Who? Joey who? Do we interview with
No,
Joey?
not Joey.
Yeah, you may
Oh my
want to
God.
check that.
Oh my God, I'm horrible.
Yeah, you are.
Drummer from Anthrax.
Charlie Benante. No,
Charlie.
I did not.
Oh,
After
Joey, give me a tissue.
Yeah, Joey, give me a tissue. That was that's the singer.
Oh my God.
You've been listening to NFB, haven't you?
Charlie, I'm sorry. I still love you.
I did after the fact, but not on the air. I was good and whatever. We're talking about Lizzy Borden now, or we're talking about your questions. If you have music questions, get them in. Crystal, Tommy, Josh, anybody, whoever's out there, man. If you're live streaming with us, get your music questions in. We'd love to answer.
Top artists that use storytelling in their music.
Lizzy Borden, in no particular order. Lizzy Borden, Meatloaf, The Who, Pink Floyd.
All right, I'm gonna say we'll get away from rock music. I'm gonna say Slick Rick.
Oh, good call.
I'm gonna say early KRS-One.
Okay, I can buy it.
Ghostface Killah.
Yes.
Ghostface is interesting because he literally puts out albums based off, like, he releases this simultaneously, like puts out these albums and these comic books, and the music is a soundtrack to these comic books. And so he has all these stories in it, you know, like the kind of like Man in the Iron Fist kind of stuff. And
Alice Cooper did that once.
Yeah, Alice Cooper.
The Last Temptation of Alice Cooper was a comic book and a CD that were released at the same time. And did you ever nail down Andy for an interview? No, Crystal, we haven't. But I want to, because he was at the Lizzy Borden release party and put out pictures. So I would love to get Andy, but Andy, like Lizzy Borden, is always on the road. Andy Freeman was the guy I was mentioning earlier as my musician friend. Yes, we will try to get Andy Freeman on the show. Crystal says Ice Cube tells a great story.
Yeah, not all the time, but some of his music definitely. One of the favorite things I ever read is somebody pinpointed the actual day that it was a good day.
Was it like April 17th, 93 or something?
Someone pinpointed it by taking pieces of the song and things he said.
I remember that.
And
so this was the good day.
Like, oh God, I gotta pull that up. It's really awesome.
That is fantastic, guys. If you have any questions about music, get them in now. We have I don't know until Eddie tells us we're done.
Oh, whenever, like we can wrap up whenever, but we got the time, folks. So if you want to jump in with some stuff,
I'm enjoying the music talk, and I can't gush enough. I'm not gonna go fangirl again. Lizzy Borden was fantastic, and thank you to Hannah, to Chip, to everybody. I'll go as so far as to say Brian Slagle, Metal Blade Records. That's where I got the contact info. Thank you to Lizzy, who's been my friend on Facebook for X amount of years. When that video comes up, I'm sharing that like nobody's business. You and Lizzy have been friends for 8 years with big hearts and fucking cake and the two little.
Yeah, I got something for you. Remember how you were like, you don't like the hardcore metal stuff?
Can't stand it.
Well, believe it or not, in the electronic music scene, we have an equivalent.
Oh dear God, I can't wait.
That I actually find equally
annoying.
Yeah. So let's see if we can get a little to play here.
Okay. You're the master of the computer gimmicks, so I will wait for you as you drum this up. As we are talking... Oh, here we go. I'm dope.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do this.
Neither can I.
It sounds like when you're trying to start your car and it won't start.
Oh, it gets scarier. There's
I
like
can
some
imagine.
there's a style called German Schranz music that, yeah, it's exactly how it sounds.
But then here I am on my, again, I mentioned the Apple download gimmick. I have Rammstein. I don't understand a fucking word they're saying, but I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to listen to Hoba Thaba Flaba Steibing, Stiebe Flabbe Fumba Fabing. And then I look up the lyrics and I realize these guys are fucked up.
It's
But I
like,
love it.
yeah, it's German for La Bamba.
Yeah, pretty much. All of
Yeah.
it's La Bamba.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, get them in. If not, we're just going to bullshit with each other about music.
Oh yeah, like I said, I think it's been a great month of music. I talked about a couple of releases I really enjoyed. Still, like I say, Nas's album's really good. If you're into that stuff, get it. Like what's some? Let's go into
Yeah, let's
new releases.
There we go.
Let's
We'll
see
talk
what we
about
got
some
here.
new releases. I don't know that I've ever heard any of them, but
well,
I can tell you what I think about
every now and then some obscure like artists will come back out of nowhere.
Like they sneak in and put out a record, like Billy Joel put out a record a couple years ago and nobody knew about it. Unless you're a hardcore Billy Joel guy, which I didn't know because I'm not a hardcore Billy Joel guy.
Billy Joel put out an album?
About 7-8 years ago.
Oh, that's yeah.
And it snuck right by. Unless you're a hardcore Billy. ZZ Top just put out a live record.
They still put out records.
Yeah, but that's where I'm going to stop. I don't want to disparage.
They haven't put out a spectacular one that charted.
Not since the mid '90s. No.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody's into that southern blues.
Are you
rock
kidding?
kinda.
Every time ZZ Top plays, people lose their shit.
Well, because it's ZZ Top.
They're fucking awesome. That's why.
Love ZZ Top. It's
Absolutely.
so and ironic that the only guy without a beard is named Beard.
Yes, Frank Beard, the drummer. He's got a big old Tom Selleck mustache, though.
I wonder if he still does.
Look it up. You got the Google machine.
I'm having trouble getting into my.
Don't sweat it.
Getting into my Tidal membership. I want to see what's released.
I don't know. I can't take questions if I do this, but I could go to. Oh, you got it already?
Well, I'm gonna go to.
He's gonna go somewhere, guys. Dead Air is a killer, and that's why Kevin Harvick is here.
Oh my God, Kevin Harvick.
He's trying. He's trying his best. Selena Gomez. I'm trying.
Folks, I see Kevin Harvick in my nightmares now.
You should. He's coming for you. He's going to drive that car right up your ass.
Is that a Jimmy Crack?
Yes, it is. Good call. Eddie is also the producer of the C&J Speedway Review, which you can catch Wednesday nights. And if I think if I got everything right, we are going to go back to doing it live on Google Hangouts, and then you'll find it on our YouTube channel. So we're going to test that in just a little while. Tommy last week wanted to know when I'll denounce NASCAR, Star Wars, and other things.
Denounce?
Yeah, like, I asked him, when can I be on 3 sides? That's like my bucket list. Lizzy Borden, bucket list. Being on 3 sides, bucket list. When you denounce NASCAR, Star Wars, and something else, I couldn't remember what it was. And I was just like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you got a better chance of seeing God. We have a better chance of getting God on this show than
it could happen.
Chris denouncing
It could
NASCAR.
happen. Crystal says, the first night Chris and I ever worked together, we met ZZ Top. You are correct. It was Billy Gibbons. And he was wearing that hat that looked like a, I don't know what you call it, those finger sponge gimmicks that you run along the floor. Those green pads that have all the little fingers on it? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? The dust mop gimmicks?
Yep.
Billy Gibbons was wearing that gray hat that looked just like one of those mops. And he came up and we met and everything was great. And Chris and I, the first night we ever worked together was ZZ Top, Godsmack, and I can't remember what else, but it was, I can tell you this right now. I was on the counter and I was playing the drum beat to Voodoo by Godsmack with my fingers. And she's sitting to my right. We don't know each other from Adam. And she starts singing, I'm not the one who's so far away. And instantly, boom, there's a 6,428-year friendship that goes on to this day. So
let's see,
good on her.
Jason Aldean has something new.
Oh, Jason Al-Qaeda. I can't. No, you know what? With the country, I can't get into it. It's too rappy. It's too poppy. Country is supposed to be down home, blue jeans, hat, flannel shirt, gimmick, whatever. It's not supposed to be rap. It's not supposed to be
Nelly's country
rock.
now.
I heard. So is Hootie, but Hootie's doing it right.
Rap music like rejected Nelly, so he went where he was accepted.
He should just do Adam Sandler movies. He did
Mighty
great there.
Mighty Boss
Are you
Stones
shitting me?
have
They
some
put
new.
out a new
They
record.
have some new music here. While we're at
Dickie
it,
is still making wow.
Yeah, while we're at it,
Wow.
Let's take a look at
Let's
this track
preview
list
a little
here.
Mighty Boss Tones.
Let's see. Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is the track list.
Mhm.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Constant. Wonderful Day for the Race. Unified. Divide.
Wonderful Day for the Race. Play that one if you can.
Let's see. Let's listen to the preview here.
This could be a C&J Speed Review theme song right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like the Mighty Boss Tones to me. Like,
it sounds
same
like
old
the Mighty
stuff
Boss
here.
Tones without the trumpets and all of the other ska bullshit.
I'm sure it's in here.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's still 8 people that still like that kind of ska music, but it was, again, time-stamped. Real Big Fish. Was it Save Ferris? Mighty Boss Tones. My brother was a huge Boss Tones fan. Now he's all about Tupac. That's not a bad thing.
What is this? Gin Blossoms?
Gin Blossoms are putting out records.
But this looks like it might be.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's an album.
I'm about to
Mixed Reality by the Gin Blossoms.
All right, can we get a sample?
Let's listen to this. Let's pick one that sounds good. Break, Face the Dark, New Mexico Trouble, Angels Fly, Here Again, Still Some Room in Heaven, Miranda Chicago, Girl on the Side, Fortunate Street, Wonder, Shadow, Forever Is This Night. Oh, we gotta listen to this one. The JFK Shit Show.
Okay, bring it.
Let's listen to this.
JFK. Oh, you know how I am about JFK.
Oh, this is like a skit. It's like 30 seconds.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, get out of there.
The Devil's Daughter and Mega Pawn King.
I was thinking of Girl on the Side or some Space in Heaven or whatever the gimmick was.
This is Mega Pawn King.
Mega Pawn King. Sounds like everything ever put out in the 90s, ever.
Yeah. They still call it alternative.
Oh. I don't know.
Same old.
Yeah,
me, you know?
it's 1998 all over again. What else you got?
Let's see. Who else put some stuff out?
Did we play any Lizzy Borden tonight?
No, I don't know if we can really.
I don't either, but I don't want to risk it.
Not without his permission, so we're not that kind of.
But we're playing Gin Blossoms without their permission.
We're playing samples off of iTunes.
All right, samples. You remember this?
And they're not perfect copies.
Samples.
They're not perfect copies.
Okay.
Because they're going to hear it through the microphone. Not broadcasting it.
Right. We're just kind of playing it in the background, doing our thing.
Allman Brothers Band.
What?
Actually, this is a greatest hits.
Oh, never mind.
It's like $45.
Jesus.
Yeah, Cream of the Crop 2003.
How?
You know, it looks like an older collection that they just kind of put up digitally.
All right, fair enough. But I'm gonna say, are you going through the Gene Simmons School of Marketing here?
No,
we're gonna put out a greatest hits record. It's gonna be $45.
I can't tell if this is a metal or no.
What is it?
No, it's hip hop. I was gonna say Axe Murder Boys. I was like, I can't tell. This could go either way. There's a skull on the front. I'm like, this could really go either way. But then I should have noticed the Z in Boys.
Right.
You know,
Crystal singing "Hey Jealousy" as we play this.
Great.
You think it'd be all right if I could do the thing tonight? We sound the same as every other band. Might not be alone.
Hey, guess what's on here? Lizzy Borden.
Midnight Things. Go out and get it right now.
Let's see.
You can throw 25 seconds of My Midnight Things. I think you could. We're listening to
this
it in the
isn't.
background.
Yeah, it's not a perfect one. So what's a good one here?
Oh wow!
Just throw one out there. We'll play.
You know what? Let's go with my favorite. Let's go with "Long May They Haunt Us." Just the opening 20 seconds or so.
Not the reprise, right?
No, not the reprise. You want the main shit.
This is classic.
Very 70s.
Yet not. Like, it sounds classic, yet it still sounds very modern.
Exactly.
It's weird.
Very good call. Love it.
All right. Yeah, there's a little bit of my midnight things, folks.
Yep, you just heard "Long May They Haunt Us," and I'm gonna pay some bills, and then maybe we should get out of here. I don't know. What do you got going on over there?
There's nothing new really going on. Oh, the Incredibles 2 soundtrack.
Yay!
No, that's it for. They don't have any of the good stuff listed for new music, but Christina Aguilera is here. But whatever.
Yeah,
She looks skinny again.
Does she?
Yeah.
All right. Last time I saw her, she was bloated like a wood tick, but
fat and drunk.
I don't know about drunk, but she wasn't exactly Christina Aguilera when I saw her last.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's pay some bills real quick. We did it at the front of the show. We're going to do it at the back of the show. Our 2018 fundraiser is Chad Hatfield and Team World Vision. That will be back at the top of our page in the next week. Chad Hatfield and Team World Vision are trying to raise money for people to get access to clean water in countries where they do not have access to clean water. And as an added bonus, in November, Chad Hatfield will be in this area running the New York City Marathon as a part of Team World Vision. Give $1, give $5, give $50, give your paycheck. We don't care. Just let him know that we support him, and we're going to let him know that soon enough. You want a sexy shirt like Eddie's wearing? CafePress.com/Loki and Jabroni. Get a t-shirt, get a zip-up hoodie, get a pullover, get a baby onesie, get a coffee mug, get a bumper sticker. You can get it all. LokiandJabroni.com has all our affiliates. Amazon, go buy Lizzy Borden's album. It's the greatest thing that you'll ever hear. This is Gene Simmons. No, it's not. See, you got me. You gave me the look, and you just threw me off. Amazon, WWE, Zounds, iHome, a bunch of great affiliates that you can go buy stuff from. If you use our links, they know we sent you. They kick back a little bit to the show. If you want to donate to the show, patreon.com/Loki and Jabroni. Don't forget Constitution State Wrestling, June 30th, 7 p.m., and the SummerSlam Party at the Deck, August 19th, 2008, 359 Boston Post Road, Waterford, Connecticut. And as we mourn the loss this week, only for this week,
Did you say the Deck was in Waterford?
Westbrook.
Oh, I thought you said Waterford.
No, Westbrook.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Westbrook, Connecticut. As we mourn this week's loss of Loki, he will be back next week. I want to thank Kevin Harvick for being silent throughout the entire interview.
We can mourn the loss of his car.
We can. What a bad situation.
Worst luck ever.
Terrible. And look who just decided to join us on the live feed. You know what? Give me the gimmick. Let's call him. You want to have some fun? We got a few minutes. Let's call Loki. I'm not taking any more questions. Y'all kiss all the dicks. And we're going to call Loki. So give me a minute. I'm going to hit this gimmick right here and hit this gimmick right here because I don't have him on speed dial.
You don't have Mike on speed dial?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't have anybody on speed dial. Some bitch. It's going to give me a shit, isn't it? You bastards. Anyway, we're gonna call Loki. We're going to have him chime in. I just hit Smith. Oh, you know why? Because he's not on my phone as Michael Ray Smith. Why can't
We'll give him a buzz, and I'll be back.
I'm going to try. Mike, if you're listening, call in. Just call in. Call the fuck in right now. Do it. Do it. I'm not dicking around anymore. I don't know why I don't have them saved in my shit. Oh, there it is, right here. I hope you have this shit turned up. There it is. All right, we're going to bring Mike in. He deserves it.
Yeah, what up?
What up, kid?
Nothing.
So,
watching a minion get torn apart.
What's that?
I said watching a minion get its stuffings ripped out.
That's not good.
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place.
Oh, man. Did you have a chance to watch the show?
I caught clips and pieces of it. I popped on. I have not watched it in its entirety yet.
Well, we have confirmation that if and when Lizzy Borden comes to this area, he has offered us to bring the podcast backstage and do a live interview with him and talk a little bit more because he only had about 25, 30 minutes he could give us. So he really wants to do more with us going forward.
That's fucking awesome.
It is fucking awesome. And I don't know if you saw, you had a stand-in, literally, in your seat. What do you think about Kevin Harvick taking your spot?
Well, he's a short guy, so,
He is kind of short.
Yeah.
So I hope that pumps up his stats over there.
Well, he won't be in your chair. And, again, a lot of stuff prevented us from going live on time. New mixer board. We're testing all the sound. We're going to do more sound tests next week. Hopefully, when you're here, you'll get to test your microphone. Everything will be hunky-dory with the brand new soundboard. And it's a good thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because when I went to plug in the old soundboard, I had to play taps. Just would not turn on.
Probably the plug.
It might be the plug, or it could be just the fact that it was just time. And Eddie was the guy that brought the new board, which we haven't figured out the horseshit button yet, but we're working on that. Everything's gonna be cool. We missed you tonight.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just the plug because those things are die hard, man.
Okay.
They're legit die hard. So I mean, I'll order a new plug and we'll just use that just for fucking, when you go out, shit like that.
Right. Well, we obviously, much like the Van Halen episode, when you called in from Fenway Park, we didn't want it to be the show that Loki wasn't here. You had to be here. You had to be at least a small part of what we're doing tonight. And I'm just glad you answered the phone. I'm glad you tuned in to the live stream. I'm just glad for everything. And man, I don't want to say it sucked without you because it was a fantastic interview all the way around. But man, it wasn't the same without you.
Oh no, it's tough, man. And like I said, I have my backup plans. I gave my nice shout out to my people there.
I saw that,
and I hope they get it, and I hope they love it.
Well, if they don't, here's what you do: you take that video and you send it like private message style. And
I figured I get enough shares. I got a couple already, so I'm sure they probably already witnessed it by now. But
good.
I'm super stoked about the Lizzy Borden thing. That's freaking fantastic.
He really was. He was I don't know how you put it. Eddie put it the best. He was just down to earth. He was great. We had some great questions. Again, there's something that you add to the show that wasn't there, but I think we got all the good questions out. But again, when he comes to this area, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, I'm just going to email him. He's on my Facebook as a friend. God, he liked our show on Facebook. How cool is that?
I saw that. I saw that.
Shared,
that was right before it. He shared it and everything. Yeah, definitely.
How cool is that?
I will say I got pretty grossed out today during the show.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anything that you guys did. If y'all listening, if you know my Twitter page, go ahead and go to it. I found a pretty disgusting thing in my Heinz ketchup today.
I saw the pictures. Why didn't you send me that?
Fucking worm, dude.
What the
I'm
fuck?
like squeezing out the ketchup, and the thing goes, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I look inside, and I literally see a worm inside my Heinz ketchup fucking splatter, and I'm like,
not even
wow, that's disgusting.
Loki, it's not even a little worm. It's like big ass, big heart in the middle. Like, go fishing down at the river worm.
Yeah, it's like 3 inches long. Seriously, if you guys get a chance, I tag Heinz in it.
Oh, you should.
They message me back.
Oh yeah, what'd they say? Please don't sue us.
Oh,
this is on your Twitter or your Facebook?
Look at the expiration date and all this other stuff.
Wait a minute, expiration date, my ass. How the fuck does a worm grow in a ketchup bottle? I'm not a scientist, but I think that's a little unnatural.
Well, there's enough food in there for him. I'll say that.
But how'd it get in there in the first place?
It must have been in one of those tomatoes when they grinded it down. It must have been a little guy. And then...
Okay, see, stop. Here comes Chris with the reality. If you're going to grind the tomatoes down, wouldn't the worm be ground down as well?
Hey, worms, you cut them and you split them in half and they grow.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Thank you, Mr. Science.
So now you got a little chunk of a worm up in your ketchup. Then it glows and grows and grows.
You do realize I am going to fear ketchup for the next couple months.
How do you think I feel? I got that's like my go-to when it goes to dipping fucking French fries. Not like my dad, who fucking eats fucking mayonnaise.
God, no! What is that Canadian bullshit? Sorry, Adam. Sorry, Morgan.
It's like salting beer. I don't understand that.
I don't get it either.
It's disgusting.
But it ain't the same. It ain't the same without you in the big chair.
Well, next week we get to run my new segment, Buy It or Sell It.
Buy or
I had
sell
some
it.
great questions. Yeah, I had some great ones for you guys today. So I'll pitch them on over to next week. And
Well, hey,
like I said, I was very diligent and very vigilant, and I have backup. So if the evil corporation decides to fuck me over again, well, they can just piss themselves because I have it covered now.
Fair enough. And next week, the big chair will be filled, and you'll be here. And I think Eddie brought it up that next week is Do You Know What's Fucked Up? So we'll have to wait for more sports, music, and man talk the week after. However, dude, God, I wish you could have been here. There's nothing that would have made this
You missed
better.
him squeed.
Oh, I'm looking forward to going back and watching the parts that I missed. Like I said, I had to, take care of some good old and stuff like that. So I had to unfortunately walk away from it. But.
Definitely watch the video. And I don't know, for all you guys that do audio only, it's going to be disappointing for you. So go to the Loki and Jabroni Show Facebook page, like it.
I'm going to upload it to the YouTube also. It'll be on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was going to say, go to YouTube, man. That's where you can find all of our videos, as always. And hit that subscribe button, and hit that like button, and hit that share button, and love us. That's all we need.
Look at him paying bills, and I didn't even have to twist his arm or anything. That's fucking fantastic.
Wow.
No.
Hey, I just want to let you know that I don't want to say in honor, but in protest of you not being here, I scrapped top 10 this week. When you come back, you're coming back with a top 10. I refuse to do one this week because, damn it, I am sticking it to the people that stuck it to you today. There was no top 10.
But they're not fans. They don't give a shit.
No, they don't. Fuck them. But you know what?
That's why I didn't make the announcement on the Loki and Jabroni page.
Well, top 10.
I knew they weren't fans, and I knew they weren't going to see it.
Top 10 things I want to say to the people that fucked Loki over is just basically this. Thank you, fuck you, bye. That's it.
I like that.
There's your top 10 list.
10 things that you shouldn't find in your ketchup.
Please share that picture with our fans on the Loki.
30-inch long worm.
I will put it on the page. As soon as I log out, as soon as I hang up, I'll put it on the page. So y'all can see it. It is pretty. But I gotta warn y'all. You see it now, it might give you ketchup nightmares, and you might not ever go back to your favorite dipping again. So
as many times,
I prefer mustard.
As many times as I've grilled at your house, going forward, never again. No ketchup.
I'm saying, man.
I'll bring.
I'll
bring packets from McDonald's.
Everyone's gonna ask for a fresh bottle. That's
exactly. But even then, there was a worm inside.
Oh
no!
Can you sift that?
I think you're onto something with the packets, man. I think you might be onto something with the packets.
All right, we could do this. Loki, we'll see you next week.
You're damn right, I'll be there.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Later, bro. All right, so as we close this edition of the Loki and Jabroni Show, I want to say once again, thank you to everybody at Metal Blade Records. Thank you to Chip. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Hannah. Most importantly, thank you so much to Lizzy Borden. Once again, this podcast has done more for me than you guys could know. I'm talking to heroes. I'm talking to people I look up to. I'm talking to people I didn't think I would ever talk to. And they're so personable. From Jim Leyritz, Bill Starkey, Mike Riccardi. I could run down the whole list. Gary Wolf, whatever. I don't want to get too deep into this. Thank you. If you're out there, if you're watching, if you're listening, if you download this, if you play it for the band, if you, whatever. Thank you, Lizzy Borden. This was like bucket list Jones.
It's always great to talk to a professional that's been doing it a while, and just hearing about the process that goes into what people usually take for granted. Okay, the album's out, buy it, listen to it, but they don't understand there's a lot of work that goes into this, and basically right now Lizzy Borden's taking a new venture, new risk. But it's different. And it's paying off.
It's different. It's different for me when we had Nathan Hunt on the show twice from Shaman's Harvest. That guy's a friend of mine. I've connected with him on a personal level. We have each other's phone numbers. We text back and forth. We do this. Lizzy Borden, I don't know from Adam. It's always been electronic communication. When I was going to write the book back in 1861 or whenever it was, and he was like, "Sure, I'd love to give you quotes. Just let me know." And I just got lazy and never wrote the book.
Just write the book.
I think I should.
Just fucking write the book.
But when, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, when I heard the record was coming, I sent him a video on Facebook. Said, Lizzy Borden, my name's Chris. Da-da-da-da-da. You already know who I am, kind of, but blah, blah, blah. And please come on our show. He's like, yep, sure, contact this person, and I'll do it. It was that easy.
And it's done.
And here it is, man. And I am I'm walking on sunshine. Wow! To bring more music into it.
Now he's squeeing and singing. Oh my God.
No squeeing on that one.
We got to wrap this up.
Last question. Song from the 80s, pop song, that you'd love to hear a metal band cover. I mean, Dirty Diana was done by Shaman's Harvest, and they did a great job. But if you could hear a pop song from the 80s that you hear all the time, covered by a metal band, or a hard rock
one that
band.
hasn't been done already?
Yes.
Because I want to say Alien Ant Farm kind of nailed it with me with Smooth Criminal.
Very nice.
But, what? You know what? I would love to hear... And you know what? It would have to be a singer like Lizzy Borden or someone of that ilk.
You're listening, Lizzy. Is it Here Comes Your Shot?
Aha, Take On Me.
Ooh, see, I was going to go the other way. Recently, I just saw CeeLo Green take on Toto, Africa.
Right. And
it was good, but it wasn't great. And I think if there's a metal band or a hard rock band with a singer, not one of these... If there's somebody that can sing that song, I would hear James Hetfield sing that song. I could hear Tom Araya from Slayer sing that song with a big, heavy background. That's for me, Toto, Africa, or Heat of the Moment by Asia.
See, that's a good one.
Yeah. Did you hear that in a metal version?
But with Aha, Take On Me, it's got to be a certain singer, though, because it's got that really high note. No, they got to be able to hit that high note, and I think someone like Lizzy Borden, maybe even Steven Tyler from Aerosmith could probably hit that note and hold it. You got to be able, not only you got to hit that note, you got to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually heard there's a video actually you can watch on YouTube. Aha sings that song completely without electronics. It's all kind of orchestrated and done ballad style.
Okay.
And it was just fucking amazing.
Have you seen the mashup, before we close out, and I'll send this to you, of Slayer and Wham?
No.
You'll see it when you get home. I'm going to share it with you as soon as we get off the air.
I'm going to watch it as soon as we close out, actually.
All right. Actually, we're going to have some fun. There might be a little after-hours gimmick on Facebook. Stay tuned. I want to see his reaction to this. Guys, we had a great time. Thank you again to Lizzy Borden, everybody at Metal Blade Records. This was awesome. And it just sucked that Loki wasn't here.
All right. Have a good night, folks, and we'll see you next week. We're gonna do something a little different with it's fucked up.
What are we gonna do different?
Was it Buy It, Sell It?
Oh, Buy It, Sell It's gonna start it, and then we'll go into what's fucked up.
I thought we were gonna.
I want to know. I want to know before you even hit that button. Are we gonna have a Ted Nugent Award? We haven't had one in like a year. You're killing me.
Nobody's said something really stupid.
Why don't you take one of these jackasses on Facebook who keep shitting on Trump for shit that Clinton or Obama or Bush did and just use them and blow them up by their name?
I don't have that many Nugent Awards.
We love you guys. Good night.
Good night.